What's up, guys? My name is Ted DarkClaw, and with me, as always, is the man, my favorite business partner, the Black Knight. He's on this side.
Yes.
Aaron, how the hell are you doing?
Where I belong.
Where you belong? I don't know. I don't know. We just got used to this is my spot. I don't know.
Yeah, it should stay that. Should stay that way. But no, I'm doing good. Another glorious Sunday. I don't know why my light's so bright. My face looks washed out, but we'll fix that. But yeah, Sunday, day off. Didn't work today. Yes, the banner helps.
Banner helps. It was right there, lined up, ready to go, and I didn't push the button.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hi, my name's Ted DarkClaw, king of not pushing the right button at the right time.
But yeah, other than that, no, pretty good. What's going on with you there, sir?
I am completely exhausted, but that's okay because I've been looking forward to this show all week. Much like all of them, we've come to the church, and today we're talking about some diorama building.
Ooh.
And I only know one person that I would trust to talk about such things, because if I just talked about it, y'all are going to get some bad advice. So we're like, let's bring on an expert or something. So our guest tonight is a world famous diorama builder, with almost 100,000 Instagram followers.
Damn.
He also has a YouTube channel that also has a lot of people that follow it, but I don't have that number in front of me. He's going to tell us though. So we're gonna welcome our guest, the very random and wonderful Random Diorama. Random, how are you doing, man?
Doing good, guys. Thank you for that intro. That was a bit grand for me, but I do appreciate it.
I don't know. Have you looked at your background? Like, you see my background setting, you see Aaron's background setting, and you literally have a little city behind you.
Yeah, I did have to set that up though, so it is like it's a bit of a front. It's not there all the time, guys. I'm just trying to make it look good. So
sure, don't be too modest. It's always there.
You just you like feeling like a giant man in a small town, like a Godzilla. Absolutely. And you just like smash.
If I had enough room, I would definitely have a city I could go tear up every once in a while.
No, it looks amazing though. Let me tell you, holy crap! And we got a lot of stuff to get into, especially about that backdrop there and how that was made. But first, I have a really important question for my co-host and co-owner and business partner, Mr. Black Knight.
Yes.
Mr. Black Knight, I saw you earlier. We did a little exchange, a little toy deal. And I forgot to ask you then. And I got in the car and I shut the door and I asked myself, I said, what you sipping on?
Yes. When you're exchanging the goods, on very short notice, you forget to ask these very important questions.
Deep questions. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a Sunday stream, TGIS, man. It's TGIS. We're back without our unofficial sponsor, Still Reserve.
Oh my goodness.
Being drank from our favorite Hella Dope mug.
Okay.
Mugs up, fellas.
Mugs up.
Nice mug. I don't have a Hella Dope mug.
So there's one of four, but you got something, and that's what matters.
Yeah, exactly. Game Boy.
So Mr. DarkClaw, I'm looking in the chat, and there's some good names I see in there, but none of them has asked yet. But I'll ask for them. What are you sipping on?
Well, in my Hella Dope mug that I've been frantically looking for my soft coaster for, so I don't slam this thing down on a glass desk every time I put it down. In the Hella Dope mug is a classic hot toddy, because been a long week, boys. We gotta butter up that voice. I haven't even taken a sip of this yet. Hold on. Oh, so good, so good. My voice feels better already. I can go sing opera. And then always gotta have a side piece. We slumming it today, man. I almost wore my wife beater. We're drinking the tall Bud Ice. And let me say something about the Bud Ice. Not good in a bottle. Not good in a draft. Not good in a 12-ounce can. But there is something about these tall boys, man. It just tastes so crisp. Will that thing give you a buzz? And Random's gonna try to hit the eject button probably around the 1 hour mark. Be like, well, that bud ice set in. I got.
Yeah, they asked me if there was a time constraint, and I should have been. There's like a blood alcohol level constraint. Is actually what there is.
We're way past that then. Sorry to bust your bubble now, buddy.
No, you're good.
Sipping it nude around here. But Aaron, we have an important guest here today, and it would be rude of us to not ask him such things.
It would be rude. What kind of gentleman would I be if I did not ask this important question to our guest? So I'm actually, you know what? I'm gonna let someone else ask this question. You know, I'm gonna hold on. So I'm gonna let Mr. Wonderful ask him. He says, "What are you sipping on?
What you sipping on?"
Well, I'm going to be the nerd, and I'm actually just drinking Earl Grey tea with honey. So,
you know what?
Watching too much Star Trek with Captain Picard as a kid got me into drinking Earl Grey tea. Literally, that's where it came from. So,
ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, like I want to go back through like all of our episodes and like remember what all of our guests have been drinking, but one will always stay in my headspace. You know, just one. Because it just stands out. So we had my good buddy Jason from Three Geeks podcast on, and if you remember Ted, what he was sipping on, he was sipping on Alka-Seltzer.
He was sipping on Alka-Seltzer. I have not forgotten that either.
That will stay in the headspace until the end of time. But you know, it's always good. Earl Grey tea is good. I do have some upstairs. I just haven't drank any in a couple days.
I see in your chat, Jeremy J got the Picard quote: "Tea, Earl Grey, hot."
Hot.
Yeah,
hot. Yes, I like it hot. But yeah, that's great. All right, what we got? We got some chats to cut up on, and then we get some questions out the way.
Yeah, how'd that chat bar fill up so quickly, man? They came in hot today.
They're all here to see Random. They're not here for us.
I know. Trust me, I know.
I don't know about that.
I know. I was here last week. I know.
We normally have like 5 or 6 people in here. Now look at it. There's like 20 people in here, and they're like all here to see you.
Hopefully, there's 20 likes as well. I'm looking at you.
I see 9 likes right now. You know what? I'm liking it. There you go. Now you got 10.
Oh man,
yeah, you should always like it.
It's like yeah.
When you're
Random's out for 100 though. So,
Mr. Wonderful, thank you, sir. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream.
He was first.
He was first.
Normally it's Axion, but Mr. Wonderful beat him.
I mean, close second though. Been waiting all weekend for the Sunday night Hella Dope stream. You know what? So have we. We have been waiting all week, and we are here. We've survived. We made it to you.
It's the only thing that gets me through my week most of the time.
It's funny how live streams like this, it's like a hangout. It can be something that you look forward to for sure.
Yeah. This is my D&D game.
Wait, so who's the dungeon master?
I don't know.
I can go get my wizard hat if we really get bored.
Next stream, we'll do that next time.
Yeah,
we'll bring it back. We'll have
like now
full hats.
Christmas special live Dungeons and Dragons on the Hella Dope stream. It's coming now.
I will book it, sir.
Mr. Wonderful once again made sure I got all the work out of the way early. Going to multitask and file. Wasn't taxes due like last week?
No, the 18th is the date, and I only know this because I was pulling my hair out last week trying to get it wrapped up.
Wow.
Yeah,
I did mine in February. So whatever. Trying to convince the web to go to PowerCon. Yes, Mr. Wonderful, get the wifey on board to join us at PowerCon. We will be there, PowerConning it up all weekend.
We gonna be at PowerCon.
Yes, sir. I don't know if we're gonna survive it, but we'll be there.
And then you can meet us in the alley and shotgun tall cans of Bud Ice with us.
Exactly.
This is my selling point.
If they're selling like those 16-ounce beers they do at some places like that, you're going to be, $16 beers. You're going to be hurting.
Oh, that hotel bar, man, they don't mess around. It's like $10 for a bottle. No.
Yeah.
You get like
a
shot at like that's this big is like $9.
Yeah, no,
that's well.
That hotel bar be wild.
Yeah, I remember I used to go to concerts when I was younger, and even, this is even like 15 years ago, I would spend $300 on booze at a concert.
Wow.
You know, it's just crazy.
Yeah, that's what you have to budget for. When I take the wife, I'm like, okay, well, beers are $8, and then I'm gonna have 5, and you got to do all that math, and I'm like, crap, I need $100
Spill
just
two.
for beer. Yeah,
spill 2, lose the 1.
Lose when you set it down, you turn around, it's gone.
Or there's 2 drinks that are exactly the same. You don't know which one's yours. Yeah.
Well, I didn't care at that point, but it's too. Someone could have put a cigarette out in it. Some of those things were like $12 for a cup of beer. I would drink it anyway back then.
Yeah, that shit is expensive.
Yeah.
Our one and only RandomDiorama, Frank, welcome. Chat, hope is doing well. The chat seems to be doing just great. They're blowing up today. We haven't even asked Random a question outside of what he was sipping on yet. So you guys are crazy.
It's the most important question, though. So,
that is.
Show's over, guys.
It's good seeing you all. Sorry, Random. This was the entire interview.
That was the high point. I got it.
My brother Adam's in the chat. Hello. We got Payne Toy Samples. Hello. What's up? How's it going? The 13th Prince. Good seeing you again. Good evening. I gotta work on that. That good evening.
Good evening.
Who else we got? We got Jeff Morris in the house. Jeff, welcome. Good evening. Oh, the one and only Jim Largo in the house.
Jim,
how are you, sir? I'm gonna actually jump this question and come back to this because it actually lines up perfectly with it. Adam says, shout out to Largo for having both of the hosts of the Hella Dope show on his channel, man. Yeah, I was on this past week talking some of that good music. So if you haven't seen it, go check out the last episode of Largo's Lair.
And I'm gonna vouch for that because when Aaron told me the subject, I was like, well, yeah, I'm gonna be there to support you. I don't know. And banger of a show. Had an absolute blast from start to finish. And I know Jim's going to say that's because I was sniping Aaron the whole time. But sincerely, outside of that, I enjoyed the show a lot. And Jim, we got to start doing some 2-3 hours, man. We can't keep cutting it off like that. The people want more.
We could have. I told him we could have gone all night on that topic.
Yeah,
you talk about music, we're all in. But going back to Jim Largo, he says, I'm ready for some random diorama.
Nice
wordplay,
diorama.
And Cutthroat Comics, you made it. You're here.
What's up, Chris? Good to see you.
All right. Well, Mr. DarkClaw, the floor is yours.
Excellent. So, Random, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And before I start getting into questions, I was telling you about this in the green room. It was hard preparing for this show because you had such an amazing interview with Whadafunk on his channel about 3 weeks ago on the Whadafunk channel. So that link is in this description. When you're done with this show, there's no Sunny tonight. I know it's TGIF. Sunny went on super early today because he's at a con, shilling Idiocracy and whatnot. But that was a fantastic interview. Props to both of you because he had some good questions and you had some amazing answers. And I found it very hard to prepare for the show when there was already this gem right there and like a recent one too.
We had fun with that too. There was, that's important. Sometimes things get dry, but it didn't really happen. We were back and forth pretty good. So
yeah, every time, like anytime he asked you a question, it was like sincere and your answers were well thought. And guys, it's about an hour and a half long, so it's not a big time suck. Go check that out. Link is in the description. So yeah, but with that out of the way, the first question outside of what are you sipping on is always the origin story, because there might be people in here that don't know who you are, and that's fine. They're crazy if they don't. They're going to get to know you if they don't. But how do you go from just plain old Jonathan to random diorama with a city in your backdrop? What is the story? How do we get from point A to point B?
Well, I mean, if you're asking specifically like dioramas, how I started doing that, it's a long story. In the other interview, the guy actually asked me, he's like, when did you first looking at this nerdy kind of stuff? And I was like, I think my dad gave it me when I was like 2 years old or something. I mean, pretty much my whole life into science fiction. You know, we were watching Star Trek, the original, before Deep Space Nine or Next Generation or any of that stuff came out. And so, you know, Doctor Who, all that kind of stuff. He was into trains, model trains. And so he took me around to those types of big shows where they had these really intricate displays, much smaller scale than what you do with action figures, but really, really cool stuff. In high school, I got into playing Warhammer. I don't know if you're familiar with Warhammer. Okay, yes. Warhammer, some Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer Quest, and all those types of games. And painted miniatures a little bit. Wasn't super great at it, but I did do some of that. And after high school, I started playing when I moved from New York to Texas. And my buddy worked at a comic shop, and they just started carrying Warhammer, and they had no terrain at all. So I just started like playing around with styrofoam and making stuff. So I was about 18 years old, making hills and you know, all kinds of like bunkers and stuff. And that was before I even used the pink foam we use now. I had like the white, really messy packing foam that got everywhere. You'd have to put you know, glue and sand and stuff to get it to hold together. But anyway, fast forward from all of that, I did that for a while, stopped making anything until about 2014. A buddy of mine who's into collecting action figures comes over. He's in my garage and he sees some of this old War Games terrain. And he's like, hey, could you make me something for my action figures? And I said, I don't know. What do you mean? He's like, I don't know, a room or something. So he actually got me to make the first one. I got on Instagram, got into, I don't know if you remember, like Figure Realm was a website before Instagram was a big thing, but yeah, just got into making dioramas, started watching some of the other guys that were doing some similar stuff. And yeah, my Instagram page back then grew to about 8,000 or 9,000 followers. That was all still pictures, but this was in around 2017 at this point, and I stopped. Wow. I just stopped. I was working on actually what we were talking a little bit about before, resale. I was doing Amazon, I was doing eBay, and I wasn't making that much with the diorama commissions in comparison to those other things. So, and I had a part-time job. And so I just decided to stop with the dioramas for that point in time. The crazy thing is, in 2020, I had a health situation come up. And in that, when I was in the hospital and I was out of work for 6 months, one of the technicians who was doing a Doppler scan on my legs was into Dungeons and Dragons, and we started talking about it. And I was messed up. I mean, I was weak. I couldn't move too much. And I'm just sitting there for like a week in the bed thinking, man, it'd be really cool if I could make some Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So as soon as I got out of the hospital and I started getting strength again, I just sat home on leave of absence for months, just making dioramas and starting to build up in that again. And at that point, I went from a dead Instagram account of about 6,000 followers over the course of about a year to a year and a half to where I am now. So it was pretty quick as far as the growth, but a lot of it came from shorts, you know, making reels, video content, speaking. There was a lot of how-to on YouTube, but not too much on Instagram. And there was almost nothing with someone speaking, describing the steps that they're doing. And people, you know, you like that. It's engaging. You can kind of, you know, consume it in small bites. And so I think that's pretty much what, you know, promoted the growth that happened.
That is, and that's a huge jump too. If you're talking from going from 6,000 to, again, you're pushing 100K.
It's 94K right now. Yeah.
That's all in a what's it, 2023? So we're
almost
talking
2 years.
2 years?
About 2 years, from 6,000 dead account to 94,000.
That's crazy. And those have to be like engaged people as well, because you don't just follow something like that unless that's something, because you see it and you're like, oh yeah, that's cool, but you're not following it unless you're like, oh yeah, I want to do that as well. And then you're just on it, because yeah, you're right. I was scrolling through your Instagram. There's not a lot of pictures. It is mostly video reels of like, yeah, I'm about to just carve something up right quick. And, you know, it's awesome. Like,
thank you.
Now, go ahead.
I am going to go back to more pictures. I've been putting them in here and there because I started with that, and I just need to vary my content a little bit more. But it's a struggle. Like with Instagram, as you probably notice, you get more growth from Reels. Reels is what they push, but I built them to take pictures of, and I'm not taking the pictures. So, yeah.
So, what about the YouTube side of it? Because I know you've said before that you're like, well, I should really get back on the YouTube thing, but it doesn't ever seem like a passion of yours. But I feel like on YouTube with some 10, 15-minute videos of, expanding your shorts, that could be amazing.
Yeah. So the problem I always have with YouTube, and I am doing shorts on YouTube, and that, but it doesn't really do much for you. It grows your followers, but the engagement isn't super great. It's just not wonderful as of right now. They're saying they might change it later, and hopefully they'll tie it all together a little bit more. But the problem with doing those diorama videos that I want to do on YouTube is, like, I'm building that mountain right now. I don't know if you've seen it, the mountain thing I'm carving.
I've seen it. You're like, we're just going to make this is going in slicing and dicing.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm filming it right now, but it's going to take me like a month to film that video. And so even if I make it a 15 or 20-minute video, that means I could put out like one video every month, maybe, with something that size. And I don't know. I'm starting to do it, but I just feel like I might not be able to hit the critical mass of releasing enough videos I just need to try it, but it's always, I'm doing other things besides dioramas too. I'm also doing some promotional videos for Amazon. And I have a part-time job still. So my time is kind of split up, but yeah, I do need to do, I keep saying it since you've heard it. I do need to do more longer videos on YouTube for sure.
And it's funny because we were just talking about the same thing for like us in general. It's like, shorts is what YouTube is pushing. It's what Instagram is pushing, what Facebook's pushing. But it's like, man, like you need something tangible to like bring in.
Makes no money.
Exactly. unless you have like a massive following, which, we don't. I mean, I know you're getting there.
Not with that. Not with YouTube. I mean, and I don't know if you know this or not. Well, you guys probably, I don't think you're that active on Instagram to get to that point, but they just did away with the Reels bonus on Instagram. So about a month ago, they chopped that. So you can't even get, I'm sure they're going to change it and they're trying to do something different, but that's gone.
We're still relatively nobodies, and we're okay with that. But
we don't get come on, man.
we don't get any bumps from anybody else aside from the toy sales and stuff, which is really what we care about. But
you sell a few figures, you're making more than I did off that Reels bonus, believe me. So
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Man, I had a interesting follow-up question for you, and I completely forgot it now. But I want to get back to you were talking about your Amazon. I want to talk about that more in detail when we talk about your Batman utility belt of tools, because I know you do make some Amazon videos, and I think anybody that's watching this that's interested in actually doing this or trying it, those Amazon videos recommendations that you have are actually quite helpful. I looked into those, and
did you?
I enjoyed those a lot. It's not just hey, go buy this. It's this is what I would do with this, and I thought that was a neat twist to that. But so you're making dioramas for Warhammer. Did you have any artistic ability going into that?
Not at that age. No, that was mainly what I was doing, was just crafting things with foam and painting miniatures and stuff. Now, I will say, before I started doing action figure dioramas, I was kind of on a little bit of an artistic journey, which is kind of funny for this stream because the impetus to it was sobriety when I quit drinking at 30. So I quit drinking at 30, and all of a sudden I didn't know what the heck to do with myself anymore, because it was quite jarring, because I used to drink every day, a lot. And I just started drawing things, and, wasn't very good or anything, but I did like watercolor. I was doing oil paints and just experimenting, sketching and stuff. And in that journey, I started carving. Are you guys familiar with Skyrim at all?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Do you know the Daedric dagger, the Daedric sword?
Yep.
So I was carving those out of foam and selling them on Etsy, which was cool for about 3 years until they gave me a cease and desist letter. But,
right.
I mean, it's not like I was copying an image or something. I was carving it by hand. But they got onto me about it eventually, made me stop. But I was doing all this kind of foam carving for props. I was really kind of interested in cosplay props, but I didn't really get that far with it. And then I already kind of had that skill set and went into the dioramas from there.
Well, Aaron, I'm sure you have some follow-ups, and it looks like our chat meter filled. So I'm going to let you Harukin all over Random here. Random, buckle up, bud.
Going for a ride,
baby. We were about to go rapid fire here.
Yeah, so I mean, most of my follow-up questions are pretty much what he already said, but like I when it came to, you said you were doing props, you wanted to kind of get into maybe some of the cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
What stopped you from wanting to do it, and would you still do it now?
Yeah, so cosplay is still interesting to me. The idea of building the costume and everything. But it would be more for myself probably than anyone else. Like just to kind of have it, like some armor or some like an Iron Man suit would be kind of cool to have, or really like a big old Gundam or something to jump in. Just seems like it would be awesome with like all the working lights. But that's going to take so much time, and the time isn't really available. What stopped me was. I was just working on. I'm random. That's why my name is Random Diorama. Okay, like I do not always stay with one thing. The dioramas and making stuff like that has pretty much been a constant thread throughout my life, but it's kind of gone in and out. So the props, I was doing gun repaints too, like Nerf guns and making them look like prop guns.
Yep.
And right around then they started getting crazy about guns having to have orange tips, and I got kicked off for that too. So that I kind of got like everything I was making, they were like, nope. So I was just like, yeah, whatever.
Gotta love the cancel culture.
Yeah.
Yo, I love those YouTube videos where they take a Nerf gun and repaint it to something awesome. I'm just like, that is amazing. I don't have the painting talent for that, so I just leave my Nerf guns alone and I make believe. I'm like,
it's patience. It's just patience, man. It's not that hard to do something like that.
I've seen some wild stuff on YouTube in regards to Nerf guns because before I had a dog that gets triggered by a lightsaber sound or a Nerf gun shot. Like that's all I would do down here is just play with lightsabers and shoot Nerf guns all over the place. And now
Did you give your dog PTSD?
No, I would never shoot my dog. She just
I didn't say you were going to shoot the dog.
She doesn't like the sound.
Okay.
She does not like lightsaber sounds or Nerf sounds, and it makes it really hard to have fun down here.
I'm trying to picture the look your wife gives you if you ever happen to make that sound around the dog.
She's the one making it with him.
Oh, really? Okay.
She loves it when I do that because my dog immediately goes to her and was like, "Oh, save me, mommy!" And she's like,
Okay.
"Oh, yes." But I just feel bad, so I don't do it as often. But Aaron, all right, let's hit the chat. They are patiently waiting.
They are. What else we got? Sorry. Got my mouse goes backwards.
Just
for
future reference, do you have a screen sharing ability?
Yeah.
Like I can share my screen?
Yeah.
Should be able to, yeah.
Okay.
Rocco did it, and I didn't even know how he did it. So he was like, I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Right.
I was like, okay, Rocco.
Let me see. How do I do that? Present.
No clue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Present, share screen.
Ted, Adam also is sipping on a Bud Ice. That extra ounce makes the difference.
Cheers, brother. I hope it's one of the tall ones because if you're drinking anything else, it's disgusting.
I think it's up.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, there's some of my old gun repaints from back in the day.
That is amazing.
They're fun. A lot of those were just like water guns. You kind of glued them together or just bought some from like the Goodwill store for like 50 cents and then painted them up and sell them for like $20. So that's kind of fun, you know?
What about one?
Right on.
I might get that bottom one right there. Looks real nice.
Yeah, that's a Nerf blaster.
Yeah, I have that one. Well, it was hanging on the wall, but
now that one in the top right that looks like not the gold one, but the other one, the black with the burgundy.
Yeah,
I sold about 30 of those. Like that was the one I had on Etsy for a long time. Maybe a little more silvered, was varied up, and it had a silencer on it. And I had that listing up for like $55. I was selling them, every so often, and
it reminds me of like a Han Solo kind of gun.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, that one's cool.
Yeah.
See, that looks like a Star-Lord gun almost.
Long before that, though, this is.
But see, it looks like it could be. It looks like it could be a gun, but also it could be like a lightsaber handle.
Yeah, it could also be just a punching mechanism.
I don't know if I have any more. I thought I had another one in here, but that's all right. This is a pretty long time ago already. I think we were like 2014. Oh yeah, there's me painting one. But I mean, I can understand how they could say, "Dude, that looks a little bit like a real gun." But,
no, that one does look real.
Yeah,
it looks very real.
So
the other ones, I'm like, oh come on, guys, but no, that one looked very real.
Yeah, and of course we have Homeless Link because we just had to. Oh. All right, we can stop that.
No, you're good, man.
We can definitely come back to that.
But we'll come back. Yeah,
we got a lot. We're just getting started.
Yes, sir. Where are we at? Axion Figs would have been here sooner, but spent 4 hours at a movie theater watching the 20th anniversary of Return of the King. That's a good movie, man. I love Return of the King. Like I said, I said in the last, maybe not the last year, but the one before.
No
years.
way.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, they re-released all of them back in theater. They were doing like a Lord of the Rings like weekend. You buy, like, at least here I knew they did that. Like you buy tickets, they give you popcorn, drinks, and something else for like the entirety of the show.
Treat you like a king.
Was that the one with all the angry trees?
Yes. Treebeard.
I've never made it through a Lord of the Rings movie.
See, I didn't make it through the first one, but Two Towers and Return of the King, I was locked in. Like, oh my god, this is what I'm talking about right here.
Now, Lord of the Rings was like my favorite thing ever when I was in high school. So I read them all before when I heard the movies were coming out, I was freaking out. So I was.
See, I try to read these. I can't. I lose interest very quickly when it comes to read. Like I have like the Game of Thrones audiobooks that I listen to when I'm driving to work, and even then it's like, I just want to watch the show now.
Well, you know what? Now I'm more like that, and I wish I wasn't. But it's the smartphones and all the internet stuff. It kind of shortens our attention span. I really do believe that.
No, I just had
I agree very much.
Who else here? Frank there. He's got that tiramisu or that terramade today. All right.
I don't know what that is.
The Terramana. That's the rocks thing. Anyway. Get up on your drinking history. Terramana is like I think it's like I'm pretty sure it's like a vodka.
Oh, okay,
that the Rock came out with a couple years ago.
Bottoms up, friends. Oh, I didn't know the Rock had a vodka. Shit,
it's the Rock, dude. He's got everything. He's probably got like
vodka on the
cure
rock.
for AIDS. We just don't know.
Vodka on the Rock. That sounds gross, but
anyway, before I get any further, Random, congratulations on the sobriety. I know it's a very tough thing to kick.
Yes.
So we do applaud you in your journey. A friend of mine actually just celebrated 10 years of his sobriety. So it's very cool. Largo show was a blast Thursday night. Axion, stop it. It's just a little thing we put together,
Nothing special.
Nothing crazy.
No, for real, guys. Aaron absolutely killed it. He was almost a different human. I was like, I want that guy as my co-host.
Well, I gotta push buttons again. It's great when you go an hour and a half into a show and you ain't gotta push nothing. You just sit there and just enjoy the ride.
Guys, the male creature's not really big on multitasking.
That's fair.
It's hard. Monofocus, no problem. 3 things, I'm like
I mean, 2, we're okay, but you add that third one in, we got a whole new issue.
But no, guys, really good show. Go check it out. I'll shut up now.
Wilhelm said those sexy trio pics. Ted, thanks for posting them. Yes, I'm sure our friend will post more.
We used to be
everything.
Young and pretty.
I know, right? What happened?
I don't know.
Some bullshit. Jeff Morris, he says his dad also collect model trains. I've always wanted to get like the train set that go around the Christmas tree at Christmas time. But see, my dog would be like, you have a train right now, but when you go to bed, it's gonna be over there.
So when you reach epic, toy overlord baller status, you just get the train that's up like on the ceiling that goes around the room.
Interesting.
I mean,
So
that's
Ted,
what I've always
we got to
wanted.
get to epic toy baller status. Right now, we're still at Padawan.
Maybe a little further than that. You're a step over, Perry.
We got
a
a
senior
few
Padawan.
We got a few years.
Certain kings. There's a certain king we gotta dethrone.
Hey, but I'm on board that train though. Let me tell you.
Not poking any names or any fun at anybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the king.
Yes. The king.
The return.
Not the return of him, but
not the return of him. The self-proclaimed king. Yeah.
Exactly. Wilhelm says the HBO intro from the 80s that Miniature City always made me want to make dioramas. That was a really I still could remember that intro. Like, I don't know, we were watching something and it popped up. So it was really, really interesting you brought that up. I love 80s HBO. So good. Wilhelm, once again, Random Diorama's work is amazing. Yes, it is. If you're not following him on the Instagrams and the YouTubes and all the other socials, make sure you check the description. Hit those likes and follows.
We're gonna have about 10K in here tonight. We can help get you over the top.
Oh, yeah. You meant 10 with the letter K in it. Nice.
There's 10Ks in this chat.
Yes, and the Briscoe.
Briscoe, we missed you, man.
Yes, welcome back to the real world.
Where's brother Chooch at, man?
Oh, Chooch, he's always a little behind. All right, it's all yours, sir.
Okay, cool. I was flipping through questions because I sent you multiple emails. So you mentioned when you were getting back into this, you were or when your friend asked you about building dioramas, you were kind of looking and researching yourself. Is there anybody that influenced you, that helped you learn or grow?
Sure. So the first time back in like 2014, 2015, the main guy I was really watching was Al Figures, which I don't know if you know him, but he's pretty much like one of the original action figure diorama guys that got popular. He's really big with the ACBA guys.
Okay.
And he does like kind of a comic book style. His style is very unique. It's not that unique anymore because everyone's kind of copied it, but it was at the time, kind of distinctive. And I'd say people who do really, really realistic style. He's not going for like hyper realism, but it's very fun and they look very, very clean. But now when I came back, I did a lot of research and I really looked for several people very deeply. I mean, I can just rattle them off. Sage JG. I mean, I can pull them up. Do we want to do a visual?
Yeah, sure. Go for it, man.
This is your platform. We're just here for the show.
We're all here to learn, man, because like I said, anybody that's hanging out in this stream probably has some sort of interest in this topic or has thought about dabbling in it. Let's see some resources, man.
Okay, man. Let's see. Present. Man, I'm gonna be a pro at the screen sharing by the time we're done with this.
While you're setting that up, I want to inform the chat that you should hang out till the end because once we're getting through these questions, Random's going to help me fix some of my garbage here. So
we're going to try.
We're going to do some real hands-on problem solving right here with Random Diorama. So stay tuned.
By the way, the Rock's Terramana is a tequila.
Not drinking it.
Not a vodka.
Not drinking it.
And Jeremy also chimed in real quick that says the fact that he came out with the booze and didn't call it the rock bottom, really disappointing.
Jeremy's spot on here. Now I'm definitely not drinking it. All right, Random, good.
All right, so as soon as you're ready to share it.
I guess one of us should do that.
I could do it.
Okay.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, so this is Joshua Green, Sage JDG, and a lot of these guys are in a group called Diostructure on Facebook, which is kind of like where all the diorama nerds for action figures kind of hang out. And you could see like really, really cool. Now, something I like about, I mean, obviously his painting is awesome and the textures are really nice, but something that he does really well is he breaks up space. Like you see how it would be just a flat wall in the back. He always makes sure to have like a little pop out, so it's not just like boring, you know, because this room right here, it's a pretty, you know, plain Jane room, but because it's not just a flat wall, like
Right.
it just gives it, you know, actually I copied that well, it was one of his similar. I made a miniature one when I did my my Santa's workshop. I copied one of his dioramas in miniature, so my action figures could have a diorama in the diorama that they were.
Being innovative.
Yeah, man.
Random, a question from the chat.
Sure.
Is 3D printing the next stage for dioramas?
So I use 3D printing in my dioramas, and a lot of people do. Sage does not, actually. Let me go to another one. But it's hard to print an entire diorama 3D printed. You know, like I would say it makes much more sense if you're just doing them for yourself to carve the walls and stuff and do the accessories out of the 3D printed items. Now, the problem you run into, obviously, is where do you get the files for the items to 3D print? Are you going to learn 3D modeling to make them yourself? Are you going to go on, you know, they have marketplaces for 3D items. Thingiverse is a big one. You can use them, but a lot of times they're owned by someone else. So you can use them for your personal use, but you're really, you know, you could sell them, but you're not really supposed to. A lot of people do anyway. So it's a tool, you know, it's a very useful tool. It's great, like for prototyping things, especially if you're trying to make even like an action figure or something like that. But I don't think like printing an entire diorama 3D printed, you could do it, but it would be, you know, I don't know. Probably not great. So Euler's Workshop is another guy I look at a lot.
Oh, yes. No, that's one of the ones that I was following when I was learning as well. Yeah, he's been around for a few years. Yeah.
He was actually around the first time I started, but you know, he was just kind of in the background, not really doing much. But when I came back, I noticed he was really, and we talk sometimes. He's really pushing on YouTube right now and growing really well. He gets good views in his live streams and does, like, you know, look at that palette, man.
Yeah, that is amazing.
It's cool. Yeah, he's really big into like the kind of like the almost the dollhouse style miniature stuff. You know, so I think it was at some miniature convention. All right,
Payne's Toy Sample says Oilers is fantastic.
Yes, Oilers is the man for sure. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I think I pulled up some of these guys in research already. So now this guy,
wow,
he's just specifically with these buildings, and I think he does commissions, I believe. Yeah, open for any diorama commissions. But when I started looking at how to do buildings and I was just flipping through everyone's stuff, I was like, this guy's stuff is crazy.
Those are insane.
Insane. So
just the detail alone looks great. Yes. So he's doing resin printing for all those little bits. I don't know if he probably designed them on his own or he's doing some kind of mold or something to get repetitive parts. But, you know, so once he has it laid out the first time, you can replicate it, but still that's a crazy amount of work right there. Oh, yeah.
Now I have a question, and I know you didn't make this, but maybe you can give some insight on it. So there's that clock tower there, right? Mm-hmm. And that is a perfect circle. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the questions I'm going to get into later when we're talking about my struggles. But is that 3D printed, or how does one carve such a clean, beautiful, perfect circle? Is that a table saw, or what do you think that is?
So that's probably, I mean, that might not be XPS foam up there. That might be like foam core board. You know what I'm talking about? The two pieces of paper with a little foam sandwich in the middle of it.
Yes.
In which case you could just use a compass and then an X-Acto knife.
Okay.
You know, but if you wanted to cut foam core board into a perfect circle, really, really hard. Very difficult to do. But guess what? You don't have to. You can cut a sloppy, nasty looking hole in that and then just stick a nice, perfect piece of circular trim on the outside of it to cover it up. I mean, that's what they do when they build your house, right? Those guys, they just like slop things together, and then they just stick like a piece of wooden trim on the bottom so you can't see how nasty it looks.
That's probably actually how I designed my house.
Yeah.
I mean, looking around here, I'm like, yeah, I can see that.
So I mean, yeah, everywhere near the windows and everything. So yeah, trim. But yes, if you try to use a hot wire cutter, you can cut circles, but it's very difficult, especially that's like inside something.
Oops, that's not what I wanted. Payne's Toy Samples is asking, who is this again?
This is Reco. I don't know how you exactly pronounce it. In my head, it's always Reco-chan, but that's not what it says. So Reco_CH. But he wasn't even doing this. When I was looking at him, yeah, it was these buildings that I was like, wow, these are really cool.
Yeah, the fire escape. Yeah.
Like, you look at that, and then you go back to that one. It's like a night and day difference between like this type of build versus the other.
His progression.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And something that's cool though, you see that bar sign?
Mm-hmm.
That's lights up. You can buy that stuff on like Amazon or eBay. It's like neon wire. So he had like a board. He might have 3D printed it, or he might have just drew the letters and then he put where the holes should be on the lettering, and then just fed this neon light up battery powered tube thing. It's LED, like with a fiber optic line. It's not neon. And then yeah, you can get that light up cyberpunk looking or whatever.
That is fantastic. Like just the creativity like that people have. Like I wish I had a tenth of that.
It's a lot of it's patience though, man. I mean,
I don't have that.
Yeah, and I feel it. It can be hard. Like carving those bricks drive me crazy when I got to carve a lot of bricks.
Now, can I ask a random question? Do you play Minecraft? Because when you were talking about the depth in the walls and making things look more visually, stunning, that's one of the tricks that I learned in Minecraft. My daughter played a lot of Minecraft, so I learned how to play Minecraft. And you don't just want a random boring wall. Have you ever dabbled in that?
Yeah, when it came out, I did play some Minecraft, and I've been kind of wanting to. Am I spelling everything wrong because I'm trying to multitask? Yeah, I can't even think now, so I'm just going to take that off there. Yes, I played it a little bit. I want to play it some more, but I mean, if I was going to live stream a game, it would probably be Minecraft. I like games like that. I played a MMORPG that was similar, like had some Minecrafty elements, but also kind of some elements of like Final Fantasy. I played that. It's obscure, so I mean, there's no point even talking about it. But yes, I do like games like that for sure. Is your daughter still playing that?
She's more of a Sims 4 person now. She designs houses, more interior decorating. She's normally here. She's one of our 2 moderators, but she's doing a research project tonight. But yeah, she's more of she does this just in The Sims. Hi, Chooch.
Chooch is here, and he's inspired random by these amazing works.
Chooch, what's up, buddy? Nice. Yeah, and so here's one. I know you know this guy, High School Creations, who's doing the Kickstarter right now.
Yep.
So you heard me before mention how I don't like carving bricks. Pretty much everyone doesn't like carving bricks because it's very repetitive.
That's all I know how to do.
Yeah. So High School Creations did something, and I thought about this, like I said, when I was first doing them back in 2015, but I just thought about it. I didn't do it. He did it. And that is, he got a laser cutter and figured out how to get it to the right temperature and everything to cut the bricks into foam. So he's done plenty of stuff by hand, but now when he's doing some of this repetitious stuff, he has machinery that helps him do it. And you can see like this stuff looks crazy good. Hold up. Yeah, like he did a whole like city block, dude.
Yeah, he is also one of the first ones that I followed as well when I was learning this stuff. Now, I did have a question in regards to High School Creations and his Kickstarter. With the success of what he's done, do you think there's a market for that for more? And is that something you have thought about dabbling in?
Yes, I have thought about doing a Kickstarter of some sort, but he had to do that took a lot of work to get to where he did that. So he sat there and he did a lot of 3D modeling and I don't know how he does the how you program a laser cutter, honestly, because I've only messed with a little cheesy one. I actually bought one back then, but it was garbage and you had to wear glasses. It was going to burn your eyes out. It was a piece of crap. So I kind of got rid of it pretty quick. Kind of scared me. So there's a lot of work on the front end that goes into doing something like that. And I don't know. I definitely want to do some kind of Kickstarter, but I have never solidified. I knew even 8 years ago that someone, and I thought it was going to be major companies, was going to dip more and more into this diorama space because all these independent people were selling them for profit. And I'm like, oh, there's no way someone's not going to try and get on this bandwagon and, muscle everyone out of the way. And you kind of, to a degree, have some companies like, Fext and NECA has that pretty cool cityscape.
Yeah.
Now that wasn't around back then. But maybe, Ted. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Well,
hold on.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Before you ask that, there's some questions in regards to some dioramas I wanted to pop up from the chat.
Yeah, go for it.
Payne's Toy Samples was asking, so question, Prime or Mod Podge and Go?
Let me see it. Prime and Mod Podge and Go.
That might have, I don't know if that was when we were talking about like the creating a perfect circle. It was somewhere around in that conversation piece.
Yeah, he's I know what he's saying, kind of. I'm very random when it comes to what I do. I'm going to take the screen sharing off now. I'm very random when it comes to what I'm doing with the priming. So some people do a primer where they take black paint, mix it with Mod Podge, which is like a white glue, but also a varnish, and it adds strength. So, and they use that as their base coat. I do that sometimes, but I kind of don't like dealing with the stickiness in my brush in the beginning. And I don't know, I'm just whatever the reason may be. I don't always do that. And I will put Mod Podge on at the end. So it just varies. Sometimes when you want to have something look more like a rough or a flat texture, you don't want that Mod Podge as the last coat, even though it will protect the surface and the piece will last a little bit longer, presumably. But it always has a little shine to it. So sometimes I'll throw like a little paint over the top of that. So there's lots of different ways you can go with it.
And I think this kind of leads to the follow-up question that he was asking. Sorry, my computer's running super slow right now. Carve details, then base coat, or base coat, then carve details?
All carving is done before you do any painting. Yeah, so details first. You might have some bolt-on pieces after you do the whole main structure and everything. Then, you might have like a little control panels or details or stuff you put on later, but carve, then paint.
Aaron, you want to just go through the chat and I'll be right back.
All right. Cutthroat Comics says some people can make some cool dioramas. He tried to make his own diorama for 6-inch G.I. Joes. Making dioramas can be challenging. Like I said, I think that kind of leads back to what you were saying, just the patience piece. Have some patience, you kind of get through it. I say my problem is I have one. The one piece that I bought, I got it from Macari because I really liked. It's like a back alleyway, and it has like a little garage door. Nice. So I was like kind of messing with it like with my wrestling figures because it just fit perfectly for how the setup goes. But I always kind of wondered like if I ever wanted to do my own, because like I always see Ted doing his, because he has like his sewer one. I don't know if I ever saw that one.
I haven't yet.
When he comes back, he could probably pop that up for you. But like he made a cool like sewer set with like the tech deck, half pipe, and
cool.
It's kind of built around it. Super cool for his turtles. But I'm just not that creative. I just want like a little something simple that I can just pose some things with.
So I think a big problem people have is they think they're going to make like some huge thing on the first time, and you can, right? I mean, it's not like super hard. You just got to learn a few things and have the patience to get through it, and you'll always learn more and more, and things will improve as you do more of it, obviously, like anything else. But the best place to start is to make a very small display, just a little floor and a wall in the back, a single figure, because you can do the carving in about 20 or 30 minutes, and then you can do the painting in like maybe another 20 minutes to an hour, with dry time and stuff.
Right.
There's going to be more dry time than that, but all the working time. And then you have something that's finished and you know what it's going to look like. And then if you don't like it, you could try again on a small scale, only have like an hour and a half of work sunk into it. And then once you have a result that you're happy with, then you can do a bigger item and kind of dive into it that way. So whenever I'm doing something new, I almost always make something small before I go try to make this giant thing. Otherwise, it can be frustrating. Now, if you just push through it and work through it, usually something decent will turn out anyway. But partway through there, you're gonna be like, "This sucks. It looks like crap. What am I doing? I'm wasting time."
See that's gonna be the me part right there. But
Sure.
Chooch was asking, any rolling dioramas, RC cars in your future?
Chooch is always on me about getting into RC cars. I don't know, Chooch. Maybe you can try to talk me into it again. I might. It's possible. Making this the mountain thing I'm working on. I've had someone mentioned that it looked like it would be cool for like a crawler course or something. But maybe if I get enough room, maybe something like that one day.
Interesting. So I mean, how difficult would it be to make like an RC car that like something, especially to make it like roll and like.
That's not.
And then I'm assuming like the doors opening.
Ask Chooch, man. That's out of my skill set. For now.
I'm just trying to help him out by helping get all these things going.
he always wants diorama. See, a lot of the guys in the RC community are now doing garages, and so he's been like throwing some of my content over there for how to like use the foam and stuff to make the garages, because they were doing like, I think he said they were using more like model kits and cardboard cutouts, and they just started more using the XPS foam materials, which works pretty well for that sort of stuff.
And I want to give a shout out to Chooch, also on Instagram. He throws up some amazing shots and does share a lot in the RC community from a lot of people. So if you were into RC cars or some really cool, what is it? I forget what's Rocco's name. I've been drinking too much and I forgot the thing. Is Toy Line.
System Island?
Yes, System Island. He does a lot of cool System Island shots in there. Sorry, Rocco, that wasn't. It was this. So go check out Chooch. That was my point. Carry on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got some of these good questions coming in from the chat. Payne also wants to know: do you use magnets to hold your dials together for easy breakdown and down?
Okay, so magnets are preferred, especially if I'm shipping it. It's magnets, all the way. Now, if I'm doing something for myself, sometimes it could be more janky than that. Like I might even use some tape if it's out of sight, out of mind, or dowels, or you can make like kind of like a box joint with the actual foam. Make a little piece that comes down and then a hole to stick it in.
That's smart.
But yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you're doing with it. The old stuff, I used to just glue everything together and you couldn't break it down at all. And that's great if you live in an abandoned Walmart and have enough room to store all that stuff. Otherwise, it takes up a lot of space. I mean, I have dioramas everywhere. My closet, my kitchen, it's everywhere. So, yeah.
Do you happen to have your first one, the first one you ever made?
Yeah, probably. Well, one of them, no. One of them, yes.
If it's not easy accessible, I'm not gonna make you look for it, but
I'll grab it in a little bit.
Okay, sounds good. Ted, the floor is yours.
Cool. So, we're a toy store, and I guess we're somewhat of a toy YouTube channel.
Sorry,
it's all good. And yeah, you have admitted that you're not much of a toy guy, but you do put toys in some of your shots, and I assume that's to show 1/12 scaling and things like that. So to a degree, you do need an action figure here and there. Do you have a favorite, or is there any, like, while you're not a collector, is there any toy line that you're kind of like, oh, I want a little bit of more of that?
Yeah, so I for a long time I was just using like the Chris Nolan Batman and Link, the Figma Link.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and I used to
Homeless
love
Link.
that. Yeah, Homeless Link. Well, that was actually a smaller one. That was
okay.
that wasn't the Figma one, but yeah, Link was homeless for a while. There was actually something back there where Link got beat up by the Thundercats too, but I don't know what was going on with that. Yeah, they jumped him. He was in the forest. They like one guy was holding him. Chitara like kicked him in the face. It was a big mess. But it changes. Right now, I do have a couple that I'm enjoying, and one of them is I do like SH Figure Arts, and I'm a bit of a closet weeb, so I have this Kakashi right now. I'm kind of digging. Like I said, I used to play Warhammer, and I do, full disclosure, I do promotions for figures sometimes, so they get sent to me.
We don't discriminate here.
Yeah.
We send figures to people all the time.
Some of these Warhammer figures, I've been pretty impressed with the level of detail and just like the finish. Like they look just like the miniatures. And you know, when I started,
are those the Joy Toy ones?
They are the Joy Toy ones. Yeah, and they've done a really good job with that. Yeah, and they have like this is the dude. They have a dreadnought too, like they're the robot kind of things that go along with it. Super cool. And this is a crossover. These Joy Toy items, because people who are into the nerdy Warhammer stuff, that played Warhammer, will start collecting sets of these and army build that, because you can't have one Space Marine. Marines got to be a squadron of them. So,
and honestly, I think that's what Four Horsemen's trying to build to right now, to kind of I don't want to say corner, but kind of add their own spice with that Cosmic Legions line that they're coming out with.
Army build it.
Yes, especially more of an alien type army building.
Yeah, I do think that now you're going to see, and you're seeing it, right? The kind of die down of the comic book stuff, because it's kind of been just overdone a little bit on lots of scales, on lots of, not scales, platforms, I don't know what you want to call mediums, movies, figures, everything. It's just a lot of it. It's just been a glut of it. And you're going to see people go into more of the science fiction and the fantasy. You're seeing it with the mythic legions, cosmic legions, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, fantasy and science fiction is more interesting to me than just the man. Now, I read comics when I was a kid. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I read X-Men. I used to read like Spawn and Spider-Man and stuff. But, oh yeah, this is a favorite right now too.
Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah.
That was a fun video of you busting through the wall. And I was like, what a good use of a diorama, man.
I had a blast with that.
I actually have it saved on my on one of my favorites.
Awesome.
And so I want to kind of get into your Batman utility belt, but I want to level up to that. Okay. And we're gonna start very basic and then build to your belt. So my first question is there any material better than pink foam board?
That's so subjective, I think it's a good place to start, but you could start with, I mean, if you didn't have access to it, you could use cardboard and like what they call chipboard, which is like really thick cardboard, basically.
And just for anybody wondering, this is pink foam board.
Pink foam board, which is XPS foam, which comes in blue, comes in pink, comes in different colors in different countries. They have like Germany, it's called Styrodur or something like that, and it's different wherever you go. In the US, mainly you have the pink, which is sold at Home Depot, and the blue, which is sold at Lowe's, which are similar, but I like the pink a little bit more. The blue is a bit more springy and doesn't take the impression from like the texturing quite as well, but it works totally fine. As far as materials that are better, I mean, I don't really know. Like I said, better is very subjective. Some people make things out of wood. I've seen people make amazing things out of paper and cardboard. Like the level of detail is absolutely insane, but that's kind of like a little more traditional. Clay is awesome for doing some things. A big diorama, probably not so much, but smaller pieces or smaller dioramas, yes, depends on the scale. I said wood. I use Sculpey in a lot of stuff for lots of details, which is polymer clay. Yeah, resin. You can use resin. I use resin for water. Some people are high school creations. He actually made a small diorama, took a mold of it, and then was like batch producing it out of resin. So that's another option. But as far as starting off, personally, I think pink foam is a good way to go.
So you mentioned where you can find. You said Home Depot, correct?
Correct.
What is that? What does that normally run? You would say.
Okay, so before the craziness that happened in 2019, it was about $14, $14 for an 8-foot by 4-foot sheet, which is a great price, because it's not an art supply. Art supplies are always crazy expensive. Construction materials, not as expensive because, a house is huge. So $14 for where I was for a 8-foot by 4-foot sheet of 1-inch thick foam, which is useful. 1 inch is about the most general purpose one. I use 2-inch as well, and also 1/2 inch, because having the various thicknesses to work with is just handy. Otherwise, you have to glue things together or thin them down. So yeah, that's what it was. Now I think it's running around $22 a sheet. So it's gone up. It was up to like 28 in the middle of the pandemic. So it doubled in price, but it's come down a little bit again.
But you're talking a big table size amount, right?
Any way you cut it, it's very affordable because the amount you could make with that is huge. I mean, if you're selling dioramas, you can make $500 worth of dioramas out of a $20 sheet, but it's going to take you hundreds of hours. So that's what you're paying for.
That is accurate. Okay, so I'm watching this stream and I'm inspired by you and I want to go do this. So I'm going tomorrow and I'm buying my pink foam board. If I'm starting off and I'm just trying to do something basic, like I don't even care, I just need a wall for my action figure. What's your first recommendation for that? Like, random, I need a wall. What do I do?
Okay, so I kind of was talking to Aaron a little bit about this, and that is you always want to start small, which is probably a problem you're having right now, Ted. You want to start with a diorama that's maybe a single figure display or something small and not get too big because it gets a little overwhelming. And if you mess up, you're not sure what to do because you haven't gone through the process the whole way yet.
Yes.
Yes to all those. Yeah.
Yes.
So, you could do just a plain wall, but all you need to start with, a lot of people, when it first started getting popular, were using X-Actos, but it quickly switched over to using, this style of knife.
Yes.
A lot more versatile. You can cut all the way through the foam. And I don't know, I just like it a lot more. So you really just need this to do the carving. Some kind of white glue. You could use Elmer's if that's all you have. I like Aleene's tacky glue. That's personally my favorite. I also use a lot of hot glue, but you could get by with just these two items. And then you would need paint. Cheapo craft paint. You get black for your base coat, and then maybe red if you're doing brick, maybe a light and a dark gray. A big bottle like this is only maybe like $3, and you could get the smaller ones for like 50 cents on sale sometimes. So you're talking about a total spend of maybe between $30 to $40, depending on what you get. And then you really don't need that many, anything fancy in a brush. I use a bigger brush for the base coat, but if you're just starting out, you could use the same brush that you're using for dry brushing that you use for base coat. So if you're going to be trying to dry brush, you want something that's a flat brush like that, not like, crazy You don't want a round. You want a flat brush to do dry brushing. And then you just want a smaller brush to do details. And that's basically all you really need to get started. So it's very, very affordable to get into for working with pink foam. Now, once again, you could go to the dollar store and buy a $1 sheet of foam board and, cut it up, peel the paper off one side and carve bricks in that. There's different things you could do.
Can I share a story?
Sure.
So I'm actually going to do a screen share here.
Go for it.
So the first diorama that I did was the DarkClaw pub, and I'm going to pull this up here. All right. What, am I on my Instagram? Where I don't have any of my stuff up. I left it all. Okay, we're gonna stop screen sharing because I don't have it now. But the first thing that because I don't want to go look for it. It's gonna take me forever. The first thing I did was the DarkClaw pub, but I used exactly what you were talking about. Like I went to the dollar store, Kroger or something. I got that foam board that has that sheet of paper on it. It's kind of like thick and glossy.
Did you paint it?
Well, I carved brick into it, and then I painted it. And what happened was it warped. Yes, it became very bendy. I created the most beautiful hardwood floor, and the whole thing just turned into a little boat. And I'm like, ah. So
Ted?
I don't use the DarkClaw pub a lot for it. But what? Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, no, you froze.
Oh, did I freeze? I froze. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't use the DarkClaw pub a lot for photos anymore because it's warped. But yeah, that was my biggest takeaway from learning in the beginning was they were like, oh, yeah, you're supposed to peel that paper off. But I tried. I could not get that damn thing off. And I was just like, I'm going to go do this pink foam board.
Yeah. So pink foam is a lot easier to work with, I would say. But certain brands of that foam board are meant to have the paper peeled off. And usually the cheaper ones you find at the dollar store, the paper comes right off, or they use really cheap glue, whatever the case may be. And some of them, it's almost impossible to pull it off. It's like ripping off in little chunks, and it's a giant nightmare. So once you find the brand that peels off easy, that works better. Warping is a problem with almost – pink foam doesn't warp too much, but it can if you go crazy. But it's pretty much doesn't. I guess if it was a really broad piece, but cardboard – that foam board warping is a problem, and there's different ways you can go about by preventing that. One of them is, gluing it down onto a piece of MDF or wood or something, or sometimes painting the other side will even it out. It warps one way, and then you paint the other side, and then it warps back to kind of normal. But yeah, pink foam's more fun for sure, I think.
I would agree with that. And I have one more question. Then I'm going to let Aaron follow up, and then because chat's building up again.
Sure.
So most of us in here are most likely 1/12 scale collectors. For example, this AWOC that you can buy at helladopetoys.com right now. If I'm building a basic brick wall for my AWOC, my first question is, okay, well, how big do I make the bricks? 6-inch scale figure. What am I making that brick size?
Okay, so this is bad because I don't know off the top of my head what the correct scale for those bricks are. What I would have to do is I'd have to look it up, and then you just convert it over to 1/12 scale. So however many inches it is, like if it's 12 inches long, you divide it by 12. It's 1 inch.
So we're talking 1/12 scale. So we're assuming this is a 6-inch figure. I'm not going to measure it. So we assume he's 6 feet tall, and then you would adjust based off of that kind of math.
Yeah, every foot in reality will equal 1 inch in the 1/12 scale universe. So now NECA is 1/10, so it's bigger. So things don't look necessarily right. So if you build like these back here are wrong arm. These back here are damn, I can't do that. 1/12 scale doors. If I put like a NECA Doc Brown there, he would be banging his head on the door frame. So you think it's going to look good, but you kind of have to like back it off a little bit for it to look cool. Because, I mean, imagine in your home you have, a door and you're standing there and you're about 6 feet tall. looks okay. Well, if you're 7.5 feet tall because you're 1/10 scale, not 1/12 scale, you're going to be looking goofy standing next to that door. I mean, it's going to look crazy. So just that little bit does make a difference. A lot of people use cheat bricks when they're making dioramas for 1/12, and that's just 1 inch long by 1/2 inch high. They look okay. It looks kind of comic booky. I might be able to show you because one of these is correct scale and one of them is cheat brick. Let me see how good this zoom is going to work here.
Oh, wow. That's a zoom.
Yeah, that is cheat brick. So
let's put you full screen. Let's do that. Don't boot him out of the chat. Solo layout. There we go. Boom. You're full screen.
Here's Kakashi right here. So you can see those bricks look larger than a brick would actually be. But it doesn't look bad, right? It looks okay.
No, it looks good.
So, but you come over here, these are more in line. How's that light doing?
It's a little dark, but we can see the bricks for the most part. That looks better.
Okay.
Yeah, it went dark. It might be your changing backlight. There we go.
Phone light for the win. So you can see the difference in size between the cheap bricks and the ones that are closer to actual scale. Right? But here's the thing. These little guys take easily 2 times as long to carve as those because you're making all these little cuts. So it's much, much more time consuming. But if you're going for realism, it can be worth it. It definitely, lots of guys just want it to look super, super hyper real. And I get that. I did see Briscoe ask me what.
Yeah, I was getting ready to pop that up.
I don't remember, man. I've had it for a while. It's the hugest one there is, though. It's not the perfect grade. So the master grade model kits are one thing. The perfect grade are bigger. And this is even larger than that. So I can't remember exactly what scale it was, but yeah, pretty cool. It doesn't light up anymore, though, damn it.
So, Aaron, I'm going to let you follow up with whatever. We're going to take a chat break, and then we're going to talk about Random Diorama's Batman utility belt, all the tools of the trade. The sweet stuff, stealing all his secrets,
all the secrets, and the secrets.
About 80%.
80% is better than that. I'll take it. Briscoe says Two Towers was the most boring one. I can't agree, man.
I like them all. Boring to me. I like them all. You're boring, Ted. I'm just messing with you, man.
I couldn't make it through a single one.
I'm out.
I'm on board with the Star Trek, though.
Axion Fig says Randall's breaking the 4th dimension. I mean, somebody's got to, man. There are untapped secrets that we need to know.
I think that might have been referenced to as mini dioramas and big size diorama.
Got it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I started that a while ago.
Yeah,
like the 4th wall kind of thing.
Yeah. It's been a minute. Chat.
This is so my dog, he's an Australian Shepherd. So he's got some mad hops. Like you were talking about putting the train up on top. Yeah, no, my dog will probably get that. It's probably true. Let's see here. Cutthroat Comics. Joy toy figures are great, but a bit pricey. But great detail for 4 inches. We've been talking about it for a little bit now about trying to dabble in the Droid toy. Well, We'll see what happens. You never know what happens on the old helladopetoys.com.
Never know what we're gonna do.
It's crazy like
that. The Briscoes, I'm way more into fantasy and sci-fi comic deals. I mean, it gives you more. I feel like it gives you more opportunity to do things, opposed to the standard comic book style. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Well, brick walls get boring after a while. You can't pose your Power Rangers in front of a brick wall. You need them with some sort of dirt hill or something in the background. You just
take Kool-Aid Man and he's busting through.
That was cool. I didn't even build that for the Kool-Aid. I bought the Kool-Aid Man after I had the wall. I was like, dude, My wall would be perfect for that Kool-Aid man.
You were it was for future insights. Like you knew something was gonna come later, and it just so happened Kool-Aid Man landed in your hands.
Oh yeah.
Ooh yeah. Payne's Toy Samples, loving those AWOCs, where you can also get them right now at helladopetoys.com. Ships out tomorrow.
Most of them. We sold out of a few of them.
In case you missed that was helladopetoys.com. Helladopetoys.com.
I was just trying to get you there, like promote a commercial. It's like a guest thing. We've been on a roll.
Nice.
My brother Adam is saying Dreadnought comment reminded me back to Star Trek combo. The Enterprise should have never been able to withstand the USS Vengeance.
That's got to be? Oh man, I'm supposed to be all Star Trek, and I just got finished watching Deep Space Nine.
Oh, come on,
thing. But is that from one of the movies?
I think so.
I think it's one of the movies.
He'll probably answer that in a minute.
Okay.
Axion Fix once again. I know the blue form project board at Lowe's used to be $5. Now they go for $8. The project boards are like 18 by 18 by 1.
Yeah, so I didn't talk about those. They do come also in smaller sizes. Ted, you might have seen them, the pink ones.
Yeah, they're very square. Yeah.
Almost 2 foot by 2, 18 by 18 is probably right. And some guys use those exclusively because they tend to be straighter. The larger sheets have more imperfections and curve in them, and those smaller ones tend to be straighter. You don't have to worry about things bowing out quite so much, but they are more expensive per square foot. So I just end up buying the big honking ones and throwing them in the garage.
Mr. Wonderful says he always used the blue Lowe's ones.
Yeah.
Personal preference, I suppose.
They work.
I use Macari as my future eBay, maybe. Even though I said if it wasn't for the fact it's upstairs, I would totally grab it. I mean, it's a really cool looking little setup. It's just I inspired to learn to do it, and I think I found my guy. I'm gonna watch videos.
Awesome, man! Thank you. Do you ever take any pictures on it or anything? Or?
See, I am horrible at taking pictures. The one picture that I took, I think it's actually on my Instagram. I might switch it over and post it in the Hella Dope one later. Okay. But it's like it's the Rock. It's my SH Figure Arts Rock. He's sitting there doing a promo with Stone Cold Steve Austin, like in a hunch down, like he's getting ready to stun him. And then like Triple H is like behind him, sitting in the corner, just kind of watching it all. Yeah, something crazy. I get bored.
You gotta have fun with it.
I get bored and like I come up with these ideas and like I know what it would look like, but then when I do it, it's like that looks horrible. But you know what? I take the picture anyway.
You just gotta play with it, man.
Someone will give me a pity, like I had one. I forgot where it was. Briscoe was asking, what are your top 3 favorite fantasy movies outside of Lord of the Rings?
Briscoe coming in hot.
I know, right? I don't know. Do you count Army of Darkness as a fantasy movie?
Yes.
I mean, I do.
Okay, we're gonna go with Army of Darkness. Let me see. What else? I'm gonna draw a blank on this totally. I mean, I like a lot of them. I liked The Sword and the Sorcerer was fun. Conan movies, so they right there were already over 3 movies, but both Conan movies were fun. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like all I do is watch series nowadays. It's almost never movies anymore. It's always like series. Like The Expanse. Either of you guys watch The Expanse?
No.
Never heard of it.
Science fiction. Probably the best science fiction show I've seen in a decade or more. It's on Amazon Prime. Amazing.
Things I should know, because I was raised by sci-fi loving hippies, and I spent most of my weekends in a hotel at a science fiction convention, while most people would call them a Star Trek convention, because they're a bunch of grown-ass men running around as Klingons, bounty hunting people, throwing them in a jail, which was fucking awesome, by the way.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, you give a Klingon $5. I'm like, yeah, I'll go throw that dude in fucking jail right quick. I should know these things, but
I bet your mom knows. I bet you call her right now. She'll be like, yeah, I know what that is.
I'm not calling my mom right now. I hope she's not scrolling through Facebook and catching.
Is your mom a massive Trekkie?
Yeah, no, she's a big Star Trek fan, lifelong sci-fi book reader, whatnot.
Love dragons.
Lord of the Rings. There's literally been a painting, a beautiful painting, before the movies ever came out. This is from the 80s. The painting might even be older of that, of Gandalf holding a staff, just giving you this grumpy look. And that was like what was in my living room my entire life. And I was told, my stepdad told me, he goes, oh yeah, you just spin around 3 times and his eyes will follow you forever. And I'm like, the fuck they will. And I did it. I swear to I can still go in there right now. He's dusty as fuck. But I'm like, Gandalf, what are you looking at, bro? What are you looking at, man?
He's like, how many beers have you had, Ted?
Yeah, Gandalf's like, Ted, you're coming home drunk again, huh?
Again.
And I'm like, Gandalf, I'm 40 now, okay?
Your love of the halfling's leaf has clouded your mind.
No, it's an amazing painting, though. But all right, I got derailed. Aaron, carry on.
No, you're good. Adam was saying it is from the new Star Trek. Was it the last one they just did with Admiral Marcus? Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the new con.
Here's the deal, and I know this. I mean, I need to watch those a little bit more. I wasn't super thrilled with the new Star Trek movies. I did like the first one, just because the casting was so good. Like, the guy who played Spock, the guy who played Chris Pine, I think, who
Chris Pine played
they were spot on. I mean, I liked all the casting in it, but I didn't like the flashbang Trek kind of vibe that all the newer movies have, where it's just like kind of actiony, overdone. And
well, I mean that tells you that. I mean, that was when J.J. Abrams took over. So
yeah,
that had his footprint all over it.
And some of the things, like, I'm not saying they didn't do incongruencies with the old Trek, but like I remember there was points where they were traveling and it's like, we're going warp this and the other one's going warp that. It's like, there's no way that could beat that. Like, it just, the inconsistencies to just push the plot were very, very heavy, and it just felt, I don't know. It was fun. Some of them were fun. I probably need to give them another shot and rewatch some of the newer ones.
I mean, your opinion will probably still remain the same, but I mean, you may give it a little more of a, oh, okay, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely isn't the originals. It's definitely, you definitely see where like Hollywood took over.
Yeah, the original ones
after that first two.
I mean, not so much the original, because the original was like, Hugh Hefner in space to a degree too, and it was fun, but it was his own thing. But the time frame of when we were younger, where you had the Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, it had its own vibe, and Enterprise was kind of in there too, kind of close to it. But some of the newer ones, like I've seen some of Discovery, and some of that's okay. Picard, I didn't like too much at first, but it's getting a little better.
So I haven't started that one yet.
And I watched Strange New Worlds, and it was okay. I watched the first season of it, not too bad, but yeah. Anywho, we're way derailed. I'm worse.
No, this is what our show's about. So we send you a list, but then we just completely go left field.
Yeah, Aaron, you are the railer guy. You're the re-railer.
No. I derail the derail. It just makes it seem like I'm putting it back on track.
No, that's how I'm going to introduce him next week. The railer of rails.
Oh God, that's something.
We
can leave that alone.
That one. Yeah. We want to scratch that from the replay. That won't be there later. Axion says if I had a Home Depot closer, I prefer the pink foam, but Lowe's is 5 minutes from home.
Yeah, man.
Get that shipped in from Home Depot, man. They got like some free shipping offer.
Well, there's also smaller Amazon options as well. Like you can't do as large scale, but I mean, if you're just trying to do like a one figure thing, like they have very nice, tiny, small.
You're making me think again. Why do I not have those Amazon affiliate links linked? I am crazy, dude. Because you know how many I have sent thousands of people to Home Depot to go buy pink foam. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, that's the most common question. Oh, yeah. I tried to get a Home Depot sponsorship, but they won't listen.
I want to say they're 12 by 12. I don't have one near me. I literally have one back here. I can grab it. Amazon? I'm pretty sure that's where I got them from. Because I had a hard time finding them in the actual store. And the store was nice because it got me these bigger pieces. Sure. Because the 12 by 12s just weren't cutting it for what I wanted to do.
I wonder if that's just some guy sitting in his house cutting down sheets, selling them on it. He's like, oh, yeah.
Could be.
It's me.
It's Aaron tomorrow.
That's how we fund the toys for Hella Dope.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Selling
the
Axion.
Steel Reserve
12
Fund
by
right
12.
there.
Like, oh, another order from Axion? Yes. I'll ship those right to you, sir.
Here's 4 12 by 12 boards, sir. Shipping's
Just
$20.
don't mind the cut. It might be a little off, but it's.
I mean, I'm feeling like they got to be at least marking it up like 50 to 100% while they're doing that. I mean, you got to be paying quite a bit more.
I'm a year behind on projects, so I haven't had to buy any recently, but you should very much add those 12 by 12 foam boards on Amazon if they're still even a thing.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
I'm sure they are.
It's a good starter thing, man. Like starting out, that's what I started with. Cheap, worked out well.
Yeah. While you're doing that, Mr. Wonderful was saying, I wish I had started with dio building with foam about 15 years ago when I started building my massive wrestling arena. Interesting. If you still have it, I'd love to see a picture of that.
Yeah, I would too.
It was just so heavy made of wood. I mean, that makes sense.
But if you make something of wood and you make it like fairly decently, it's going to last way longer than pink foam. As soon as you have a kid or a cat or a dog around pink foam, it's not great.
Or a couple of drinks too many, and the next thing you know, you step on it.
Yeah, I literally have mine right here. The second we go off the air, I'm turning around and kicking a hole in one of them by mistake because I forgot about it.
Hey, do you have your sewer dio nearby?
I have it in pieces.
I was
back here.
I was telling Random about it. If you don't have it nearby, it's not big.
No, I can share it.
There's a chunk right there. That little chunk right there where my finger is. It's like white, but it's actually pink. My toenail took a chunk out of that and was sitting on the ground. It was in my closet and I just so yeah.
All right. I did, while y'all were talking, go back through here. So this is a shot of part of the sewer diorama, and this is with the 12 by 12 foam board. So that's 12 by 12, 12 by 12, 12 by 12 here.
Okay.
And the tunnel is actually from Tech Deck. They had a half pipe, so it creates a circle, but it could also open up. And I realized that, and I was like, you know what? This looked like a lot of sewage tunnels that I used to hang out in back in the day. And I was like, I wonder if I can use this in a diorama. So I made my sewer diorama, and this isn't the best shot of it. It's just one of my favorites.
No, it looks cool, man. So is that front part, you carve the bricks and everything on the circle around the front of the tunnel, right?
Yeah, so that was one of the questions I was going to ask you because, yeah, I literally, this is the half pipe here, and I just put it on the foam board and traced it, and then I cut it by hand. So it's very tight, like it's very form fitting. Nice. That whole piece just fits around it. But over time, there's wear and tear here where there's gaps of light. So if I don't have everything perfectly dark and well lit, you can very, very clearly see gaps, and it doesn't always fit the best. And that's why I was asking kind of about the clock, because I was like, I hand cut this with an X-Acto knife. I don't know if there's a better way to do that.
Do you ever pull the pipe out of it for storage, or does it always stay attached?
No, I take it off because the pipe is very big. That goes pretty deep. I want to say that's probably, it's not a foot, but it's pushing 12 inches long, and it's pretty round. So I just peel off that piece, and then I stack the three pieces together, and then I store the pipes separately.
So what you could have done with this is you could have used your, that dollar store foam board that you hated.
Yes. So
you could have traced that out and then made it just like a little bit smaller and cut like an arch out of that and carved the bricks into that, and then taped it or glued it on the front of that so there would be a lip and you wouldn't actually see where the seam was. So it would be
okay.
You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Trim to make lips and stuff to cover up those little things.
Because as you can see, right around the top, like I carved that brick in around it, but it gets very sloppy, especially down here. So
it's a sewer, man. It's fine.
That's fair. But yeah, no, having something to kind of cover up that jaggedness would have been.
You're a mess. Yeah, go on.
Nice. Would have been nice.
Axion just wanted to know pushing 12 inches long. That's what she said.
Oh boy. Do I have a better shot of the sewer?
There's the go back up for the.
Go back up.
Yeah, right there. Well, it doesn't show the full pub, but you have it right there.
Oh, the DarkClaw pub.
Yeah.
What are you looking? What am I? Okay, here's the DarkClaw pub. So this was that shitty ass dollar store.
You know what? But it looks cool right there. It looks fun.
It does. It's just incredibly warped, and it's just two pieces. There's the floor, and then there's the wall.
It just adds to the drunk assness of the entire thing.
And I never finished it because there's that foil back here in the back. This was supposed to be where all the beer taps were. Okay. And I was going to build shelves here, and I never did because the whole thing just curved. But this bar I'm very proud of because this bar is actually from an address sign. Like, so if you had a house and you wanted a fancy address sign, that's what I use this for. Now. And then I just painted that, and then I used smaller, what is it called? Balsa wood?
Balsa
wood. Yes. So I used balsa wood, and I just cut out 3 pieces and just made like a table.
Okay.
And that's how I did that.
I still love that Shinsuke Drunkamura.
Shinsuke drinks some more. Yeah, that was your name, man.
I know. I get some zingers every once in a while.
Every now and then, and dude's just running around drunk as hell. Before we get too deep into this, are we good on chat? And I want to talk about randoms. I'm going to stop sharing this.
I was going to point out RG is officially in the house. He's a little late, but it's okay.
Better late than never.
Exactly.
Art G, welcome, buddy. Appreciate you.
Other than that, there's one other, but I'm going to save that for a little bit.
And also, RG does know that we were talking trash about him last week. So, about the whole Marvel cards, him starting.
Totally
bad habits within the community.
Did
you?
I did.
Okay, cool. Then you can get on the RG live stream. You, Dante, RG, just rip it away, man.
It'll be here on Wednesday.
Oh man. All right. So good with chat?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Random, what is your Batman utility belt? I've seen you a lot with this weird wand. It looks like you just took a handle with a hanger, but you just slay through pink foam board with it, but you have a lot of tools.
I have several hot wire foam cutters. Yeah, I actually didn't bring them all over here, but I brought a few of them.
Cool. What you got? I'm gonna full screen you.
Okay, before we even do that, I'm just gonna talk rulers real quick.
Yes, please.
That was something I left out actually. I was saying what you needed to start with foam is you probably want rulers. If you're going to use something to guide the blade while you're cutting, you want a metal straight edge, because if you have a plastic ruler, it's going to get caught up in the plastic and kind of the blade will jump, and it's not great.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah. But if you're trying to measure things and see where different lines are, having a see-through ruler like this is really handy because you can see all your previous drawn lines. So while marking things, I'll often use this, and while cutting things, I'll often use this. And in tight spaces, I have a smaller version of each one. A T-square is also handy. I don't have it. Well, it's actually hanging on the wall, but you know what a T-square is. If you're cutting big sheets, to have the T-square is pretty nice. Go ahead.
I like the T-square with the foam board because it lays on the foam board well, because I tend to go crooked. So at least when I'm doing my lines, I use the T-square. I try to cut with the T-square, but my T-square happens to be plastic, and your point here is real good.
Metal.
Because my T-square is hella jacked. So I'm learning.
It's not hella dope.
It's not hella dope at all.
But hella whack.
Yeah, it could be.
It's hella whack.
You got a nice metal one. Actually, here, I'll show that real quick. It's right here. This is a small one. I have a bigger one downstairs, but this is just a little 12-inch T-square. Super good. I actually did a video. I just stuck myself in the mouth with the sword off this Gundam. Like, right. I actually did a video on Instagram where I laid out all the rulers that I had, and I have more now. And I think it was like 30 measuring devices with, measuring tapes and everything included. So now next prop. I'll get to the next prop, Ted.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Highly Articulated has joined us in chat. Says sorry he's late. He was buying some pink foam board.
It's a good reason.
The best reason if you're joining this stream, and you know what? Pretty soon you can buy it off of Random, man.
Maybe
he's gonna have that.
I need to do that.
Yeah, you should definitely get that affiliate link going.
So, hot wire foam cutters. There are many different types. Probably the most normal kind is just one like this. This plugs right into the wall. So some of them are fancier and have like a temperature dial on them, and that can be very handy. This is good for doing rocks or just cutting big shapes out of foam. But the type of finish you get when you're cutting this is very it almost looks like a glacier, like ice. So lots of times I just kind of go back in with the blade to make it look more rocky over. It's very common. Lots of people do that. I have probably about 6 or 7 hot wire foam cutters. I don't have them all handy here, but this is probably the one I use the most. Besides, I don't know if this is going to fit in the camera. Oh, shit. Yeah. This is a Proxxon hot wire table.
Holy crap.
So it's basically like a table saw with a wire that heats up that cuts foam. Right. So, and there's another brand that makes something similar. This is the original one that had one that was this neat. There was a Hot Wire Foam Factory had one, but it didn't have quite the same machined precision kind of stuff. This allows you to make super straight lines because you have the fence, and you can do bricks and repeatable cuts. So if you wanted to have the same piece over and over again, like for, trim pieces or something like up there. Well, my God, I suck at that. Yeah, right there.
Don't worry, we're still trying to master that ourselves.
Yeah. And I just pulled my shoulder. I'm a mess. But yeah, so lots of uses with this thing. You could even move this way so the wire is angled, and then you can get a beveled cut.
That's wild.
You can pick the angle, and obviously you have the fence here that you can slide, and the fence can get mounted on this side as well. So this is probably the first big upgrade a lot of people get when they're really getting into it.
Now I have a question because we're all toy collectors and we're all poor with pre-orders and whatnot.
Sure.
So your first hot wire thing, what does that run? And then what does your crazy upgrade that looks like something from a middle school classroom? What does that run?
So, you could get a little hot wire set up for the price of an action figure.
Okay.
$20.
Wait, I'm about to say, are we talking like Target clearance? Are we talking like Hot Toys?
Yeah. And then a hot wire table like that's going to run you about $150, $140, $150 in that range. So it's honestly is that a chunk of change? Sure. Is that buying a new table saw or something? No, it's not. It's manageable for someone that's serious and spending quite a bit of time doing it. So it's not it's doable,
So are that's the Batman belt there? You got your blade, and then you got your and then you got your giant table to lay them out Dexter style.
Yes,
for the proper ritual.
Yes.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, but I can't really grab them. I mean, I do have a big.
Oh, that's fine.
I have a 3D resin printer, which I have a Anycubic Mono Photon 6K.
I don't know any of those words.
I know, but I said them, and it's okay. Someone in the chat knows it.
It's fine. You're drinking Earl Grey, hot. Yeah, it's fine.
Hot. It's not. It is hot because I have my my plate warmer here that.
Oh, man.
That you could also find on your soon-to-be Amazon affiliate.
No, that's already. I already have the affiliate up for that one. I sell those. Yeah. So where was I? Okay. I also, but mainly I use the Ender 3D printer. So that's kind of an older 3D printer now. Kind of budget. I think at the time it was like $250. Now you can pick them up for like $150. So it's not, it's money, but it's not like, buying a car or something. And I use that thing to death. Like all the windows on here are 3D printed, and this is pretty basic. I need to redesign this actually, but it's really handy to have. And I'm actually working on a Gothic church diorama that I haven't really started filming yet, but I'm kind of like in Blender. I've been making the designs for like different windows and stuff. So yeah, 3D printing for the repeatable things, super, super handy. But yeah, I mean, I do have woodworking tools that I'll use occasionally, like a scroll saw. I used to use a table saw to cut foam. Do you know what a scroll saw is?
No. No.
Okay.
No, Aaron does. Aaron's smart.
I feel like Aaron
just cutting a squirrel in half.
Just from the way Aaron shook his head, he was used to you not knowing what anything was. Like he expected it. It's like it spoke so much and just that. Yeah. I'm sorry, Ted. You're easy to mess with.
Oh man,
you just defined like 30 years of our friendship.
Yeah, that's every guest in here. Like, you know what this action figure is, and I'm like, nah. Aaron's like, yes, you do.
Nice.
Don't know anything. Yeah. So I want to let you plug some Amazon links, and then we're gonna pop into the chat again. And then I'm going to make you do some real-time problem solving with my chaos right here. But for anybody that isn't aware, Random does have the tools of the trade. He does have Amazon links, but he posts very nice video reviews. So like, if you're like, dang, I want that weapon, but is that for me? He's got the video for you. And I'm going to let him pitch that away while I go take a word from my sponsor.
You go do that. So on the Amazon stuff, all the stuff that's related to dioramas, I did do like demonstrations and reviews on that. I'm very sincere, talked about using them and all of that. However, there are other items on there. As soon as I started doing them and they started kind of earning a little bit of money, I started looking around my apartment and, I did sheets, I did frying pans, blenders, rice cookers. And a lot of those are just quick descriptive reviews, and they might not be that interesting, obviously, for this context. And there's like over 350 videos on there. The majority of them are not diorama related. But if you go to my Instagram, go on the link tree, and you do go to where it says tools, there's a button on the Amazon page that has like, and I need to update it actually, but it does have some of it on there, a tools list where it has that stuff. So it's in there, but it's kind of buried under the 6 rice cookers that I own now.
I mean, you gotta everyone needs a rice cooker,
Man, I never used one before. I always cooked it in the pot, but I started doing this. I'm like, what have I been doing? This is awesome. Like,
it definitely changes the whole aspect of making rice now.
Yeah.
A punk with toys. Great to see you. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, basically we just gave you a reason to update your Amazon stuff.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it led to.
You guys are good. You're good.
Yeah, we know. Now that Ted's gone, the real show is actually starting.
Absolutely.
So anything else that you want to plug in there? Anything coming up or any cool shots you're working on?
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm working on that mountain, and I'm hoping to get to painting that pretty soon. I might be launching a new project that's not exactly diorama related, but it's a little too early to talk about that. I've been playing a lot with some AI stuff, which is scary and fascinating at the same time. But I guess we'll just tease that out.
All right. We like a good tease on the show, so keep an eye out for that. If you're not following Random on his IG, make sure you guys are hitting that follow button for him. Let's push him to the moon.
Thank you.
But while we're on that random conversation of rice cookers, highly articulated says rice cookers are to rice what a Proxion is to foam. So
that's true.
Little tangent there.
And while you're spending all your time carving bricks, the rice cooker can take care of, making you rice along with the steaming basket on top, which can actually cook chicken or fish along with your vegetables. So you can actually have your whole dinner ready while you're carving your diorama, and it only takes you like maybe 3 minutes of prep. So quite the combo.
You look at that. You're sitting there. You're making this cool diorama piece, and you're like, you know what? I'm a little hungry. Boom, dinner right there, done.
Always.
God, look at you. You're wise for your time, sir. Axon did post your YouTube link into the chat, so make sure you guys are hitting that. Give him a subscribe. Let's get that channel moving.
Thank you, guys. I'll run through it real quick. Yes, I'm Random Diorama on Instagram, Random Dioramas on TikTok, Random Diorama here on YouTube. Now, I do sporadic live streams on YouTube. I kind of haven't for a couple of weeks. I got to get back into that. But now that my taxes are done, I think I'm probably going to be a little bit more regular about things again. That was quite interesting.
Man, is it just like a me thing where I need to get my taxes done like right away?
You probably have been doing self-employment taxes for years now, and this was my first big one where I was like, "Oh my God, what is all this?" So,
just write everything off.
That's kind of what I figured out.
If you bought toilet paper, you just write that off. He's like,
I don't know about that, but
it's office supplies, man. You're sitting in the bathroom, you're handling business while handling business.
The real paperwork.
Yeah, the one more important stuff.
Exactly. Mr. Wonderful saying AI stuff. I think you piqued his interest with the AI thing. So we'll look forward to hearing more about it. But that's huge. Love me some AI. Play with that space daily.
ChatGPT is pretty wild.
I've been trying to double with it a little bit. I've been trying to get it to work with the site so we can get some of that SEO.
Okay.
Now that works. Got to bring people in organically.
I think there's some really huge opportunities there for content creation, more than that even.
Yeah, I've been going through a lot of other YouTube channels, kind of like really trying to learn it. But yeah, there's one dude showed me, I was watching, he did like an entire essay paper on through ChatGPT. That is wild.
The possibilities are quite staggering. Now, it's not like it can just do every single thing for you. So a lot of the stuff it outputs is kind of it's like mediocre. It doesn't make much sense sometimes, but you can ask it to fix what it puts out, and you can ask it to do things in the style of this or that, and you can just tweak it endlessly until it's crazy.
Also, we may have a hint that you are building a Terminator. You could confirm or deny that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's confirmed.
No.
Hold on. I thought we were getting to the point where we all get real up close to our mics now. Is this the time?
This is the time of the show.
I can neither confirm nor deny those allegations.
Yes.
Excellent.
Welcome to the new part of the stream.
I feel like we're in a Senate hearing right now.
I do agree. I pass.
I yield back to the floor.
We don't know how to use Zoom.
I don't even think my camera zooms. Now that I think about it.
I meant Zoom the platform. It's whatever. That's an old people joke.
Anyway, moving forward.
I got this camera for the Amazon videos. I've been very happy with it. So,
Mr. Wonderful over this thing. He's trying to figure out how to write off all his Hella Dope Toys purchases.
Mr. Wonderful, I can tell you what you need to do is start doing toy reviews and start a content creation business, and then you can write those off as business expenses as long as you're actually doing business. Don't lie, but
Then come to Hella Dope Toys.
Just buy it up, baby.
Did I also mention
tell
that
your wife You need tax breaks. I mean,
did I
come
also
on.
mention we have AWOX here at helladopetoys.com? Shipped out
Oh,
next day.
As I was still Sergeant Slaughter under my desk that I lost for 2 weeks because he was under my desk.
Oh, just in
Two
case
Sergeant
you were wondering. Also, we have Wolverine at helladopetoys.com.
Yeah, we have a lot of Wolverines.
Is that how old is that? Is that new?
A month?
Yeah, maybe 2 months.
They're doing
I still think
style reissue now or something.
Yeah.
Everything's going back to like the retro cards and all that now.
I still think we're the only ones who have it, but I mean, I'm sure some.
No, we're probably like the only one that still has it in stock.
Oh, awkward.
Yeah, that goes back to that whole being late to the game thing. EE distribution. If you're watching this, step your game up. Anyway, moving forward. Mr. Wonderful, once again, sorry. If you want to chat about ChatGPT sometimes, yeah, we can do that. I will also talk about some wrestling things. There's a comment that I got starred that I'm going to talk about later, but we'll go over that later. That's fine. I'd love to know more about it because I really want to, like, not just for the content creation piece, because I think that's kind of where we really need to get into for like the video side. But like I said, it's anything that helps generate, more eyes to the biz. That is what we want.
Here's a random question. Have you guys toyed around with doing your own line at all sometime in the future?
I mean, it's never out of the picture. Just right now, I think it comes down to I don't want to be like another person that's trying to like crowd fund something. If I wanted to do it, I want to be like, man, I got X dollars set aside. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. As much, I mean, kind of like I guess kind of like how Rocco does his. He does kind of like small little drops here and there. Like if I were to do it, I'd like to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, I was just thinking, like, you guys, you could do like a mascot or something. It doesn't have to be a full figure, just something small. It's kind of like for Hella Dope, and it's only available at Hella Dope. I don't know.
We do need a mascot, actually.
I need a whole rebranding thing. I don't have a good logo. I mean, I'm just like all over the place too. But
I wasn't trying.
Your name is random, so that kind of works out.
That's true. I wasn't trying to make your thing Pepto Bismol pink. It was pink foam board, by the way. I assumed that you got that, but I didn't want to be like Pepto Bismol color. I'm not going on this show.
No, it's all good. It's fun. Have you noticed the spelling error you made on my name?
No.
I noticed at the beginning. It was funny, so I just haven't said subscribe to Radnom on IG. You got the link correct, but Radnom. It's been scrolling all. Right there. Yeah, it's been scrolling all the time. I noticed it immediately. I was like, I'm not going to say it.
I don't even look at the scrolling. I'm so used to it being there that I come blind to it.
One, I'm glad it's on here, and I didn't do it on Instagram or YouTube.
No, it's cool.
Oh my God.
My spelling sucks, dude. It's not a big deal.
Hey, follow Radnom.
Radnom. Actually, gets kind of funny. Radnom.
That is great.
I'm getting old.
Well, speaking of Axion, doing his due diligence as a mod, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. You gotta trick the algorithm. It likes like buttons and it likes comments and all that fun jazz. Which I don't understand why. Like it wants comments, but if you do a live stream where you have people chatting, it doesn't do anything. It's like, what's the difference?
So it does track that though. At the end of the stream, it tells you how many comments you got in it, but it doesn't seem like it does.
There's a whole graph.
Oh yeah. No, I look at it all the time. It's like
doesn't care though. Where are we at on the chat? Cool.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. We are hitting the 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna. Are you good on time, Random? You got a little bit.
I've got a little bit.
Okay. I don't want to keep you all night. I want to release.
I might have to get up and go use the restroom.
Hey, quick. You know what? You go ahead and take a word from your sponsor, and we can plug something real quick. That's not a problem at all. I mean, we'll see you in a few.
Axion, sir. I did unbox something live on stream. Thank you. Where were you at?
Okay. We don't even know if that really happened or if that was our actual reality. I don't even know if you're the same you that I started with in episode 1.
No, I'm definitely not the same me that was you, that was me in the same stream. Maybe we switched. Maybe I am actually you and you're me. I don't know.
Look, man, I can't handle that. I can't handle that.
Anybody can.
I can't handle.
Oh man. What do we got, man? What are we plugging this week?
So we do have a lot of things to plug, actually. So one, go check out Aaron on Largo's Lair about music. Really good show. And you think Aaron's just gonna be like Wu-Tang, man, Tupac. You know what? He's gonna blow your freaking mind. And when you think he's doing it for a front, when Largo and Wilhelm go over their stuff, Aaron just goes deep into the catalog on some just 90s white dudes. And he's like, oh, yeah, this song's good. You ever heard this album? So absolutely amazing stream. Go check that out. If you like Boglins, we were also on Largo's Lair talking about Boglins. Aaron, we have a guest next week. I believe it's our moderator. You wanna promote that?
Was that on the calendar?
It is on the calendar. We do have a calendar. It's also our 6-month anniversary. I can't believe you forgot.
Yeah, because
can you believe you forgot our anniversary?
We're gonna be popping bottles that night. I remember that
bottles.
part. Yeah, we'll be blue bottle popping.
We do have a guest. He is in the chat. I'm close to the chat.
Yes. So next week we'll have our moderator Axion Figs on. We're just gonna talk the jazz. I mean, maybe I'll open something else. God, fucking ass. You know what? This is how you know things are like in a weird, like alternate universe when this pops up. No future wife. I owe him nothing. But maybe we'll just do it next week for shits and giggles, okay? So, Axion, you got the future wife on your side for tonight. I'll kick her ass later.
Yeah. So we got Axion next week, and then after that, I believe we're taking guest break, and then we have Tim Clark after that.
Yes, Tim
followed
Clark.
by Payne's Toy Samples.
Yes.
And then Mr. Wonderful. And then we're taking a week off because you know what, guys? We need a vacation from all of you.
Yes.
That's a joke. I really need all of you to survive. I can't eat without most of you. So
no, Adam. We already had Simi Sky. She was our first guest. We were having Axion
on our only pre-recorded show. So go check that out. Episode 2 or 3. I don't know.
Pre-recorded?
It was pre-recorded.
How did you like that?
We had to do it on a Saturday.
How'd you like that in comparison to doing it live?
We never did it again.
Nope. Like we get to the point now where we will just alter our schedule to do it live.
Yeah, because there's no interaction with the audience. That's got to be.
Well, like there's other ways I think we could do it. Like because I mean, Jim Largo does like a premiere, so he'll pre-record his show, but then premiere it live, and then he'll just be in the chat. Right? Is there something different about doing it live and just interacting as it's happening?
So raw. But also back then, nobody was in the chat anyway.
Yeah, so pretty much.
You have to start somewhere.
It was us chatting to each other while on stream, chatting to each other.
We were going an hour and 15 minutes and getting off and like, yo, that was so good. Everybody's going to watch that.
So many people were commenting.
12 views. All right. Well, I don't want to keep Random all night. So, Random, are you ready to help me with my problems?
Sure. Let's take a look.
All right. I'm going to hit you with 3 problems. I'm going to start off small, okay? And we don't have to go all night into this. My first thing is I made this dumpster. And I designed it based off of a dumpster that I walked by. I wanted it to be articulated, which it is. However, it has these garbage. I should really make myself full screen, but I can't. I pretty much just took wire and just poked holes into them to make it like that. But it also looks trashy. Is there a better way to make an articulated hinge top on a dumpster? Because I also have this problem too.
Okay, so
I know it doesn't matter in photography, but for me,
so guys do things with a dowel rod. I've never done that actually. I made all my dumpsters without tops.
No.
So I've cheated. So actually, I have one right here.
Oh, so yours is full of trash. Oh, yeah, we got the same logo. Yours is wider. I did mine in a bad scale. Let me tell you. I learned that real quick.
If I was going to do that, I would 3D print the hinges. So I'm going to cheat right off the bat.
Can you show me yours again? Because I want to see something in comparison. Okay. That was my next thing. So you have the slots there for the thing to go into. I do not. I just posted a piece of board here. How did you make those slots for picking up the dumpster?
It's foam core board, hot glued together.
Okay. So you just took 3 pieces and...
Yeah, this whole thing is foam core board, and then I used like pink foam cut really, really thin on the hot wire table to cover the edges, the seams with the trim to just make it look a little bit better. But there's a million tutorials on how to do these, and High School Creations has a good one actually. So you can definitely look that up. I'm trying to think what you could use for a hinge that, like, where you would get it. I can picture in my mind how it would work. I just don't know where you would get those little arm pieces to hold the. Well, that looked like something to hold the. Yeah, to hold all that together. So,
a punk with toys says looks like most dumpsters in Detroit.
Yeah,
and shout out to a punk with toys. I don't always get to your live streams, but I try to rewatch them whenever I can. Check him out Monday nights. If you're somebody who watches Rocco, he's usually starting around the time Rocco ends, and go watch that. Go do it. Cool. Next question.
Axion says, Ted, to use a dowel.
There you go.
The hinge, just a dowel with a tube that fits in. That's it.
Okay. So it's like more of a construction part that's I'm gonna have to tinker with.
So almost like a mini PVC pipe, he's saying, and you could have like part of it glued in the middle.
Okay.
And then you have 2 pieces of the tube cut on the end and just kind of like slide the dowel through there and make a hinge.
So I could kind of like do it like how I carve in the magnets for the walls, right? Is it that type of... Because with the magnets, you're
just going to take the tube and glue it on the back.
No. Oh, yeah, that's way smarter. Oh, my God. That's way smarter.
Cut parts of the tube, and some of it goes on the lids, some of it goes on the dumpster. So you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, that makes a lot more sense.
Perfect what he's saying. Yeah.
I just got ghetto-ass wire and poked holes in it.
I mean, whatever, dude. Ghetto-ass wire is okay. Always keep that ghetto-ass wire dumpster around.
Look, that dumpster helps me out a lot. Like, it's not my favorite thing, but it was painted well. I was very proud of the dirty-ass painting.
There you go.
Random, Mr. Wonderful would like to ask you this question. Is there a specific video that he'd point you to for making cracks and wear and tear on concrete that he's done?
So, yeah, the problem is it's not on YouTube. I have some on my Instagram, and nothing is categorized on Instagram. It's just like the scroll of doom trying to find anything on there. You can go back through and look. But Euler's Workshop actually has some good stuff on that too. And I've taken a lot of inspiration on concrete from him if you want to go check that stuff out. Or scroll through my Instagram. It's up to you.
You got another one?
No, my computer's acting stupid. Largo, he is heading out. Have
Jim.
a good night, Jim.
Love you,
good night,
man.
sir.
All right. I have 3 more questions. Most of them are pretty simple. So this back piece is usually what I use for a lot of our thumbnail toy photography. It's a little janky right now because, well, it's all just sitting up. But when I built this garage door, I really wanted it to be articulated with a way where I could just pull up. So I did use a dowel rod technique. Unfortunately, I don't have like any real good crank and it doesn't work well. So I pretty much have a rod that goes across here that I literally have taped down. Is there a better solution to having a garage door that can go up and down? And I don't even know why it's stuck on here. There it goes.
See, I mean, you're
Large
thinking
door goes up and down.
Yeah, you're thinking of it like a play set that has to be like a toy that, functional. It doesn't have to be that hard, man. You could just use a piece of tape. I mean, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to build anything fancy for that. I'm very simple when it comes to stuff like that. I just want to be able to get the photo shot in. If I was building an articulated door like that man, you're asking me stuff I've never done.
Coming with the tough questions, man.
Yeah,
that's what I've been using the whole time is a little dowel rod and some tape just to give it that curve.
I mean, you could try magnets. Put a couple of magnets in the back and put 1 or 2 in the door, so it has a couple of points that you could have the door halfway, all the way up.
Well, that's interesting too.
But I mean, I'm sure if you wanted to get crazy fancy, you could have built it with a track, but it would have had to be wider than what you have it because it would be on the sides.
Well, you're very much spot on with the playset thing, because one of the reasons why I started building these damn things was a lack of playsets in the world. And I was just like, well, if I can't do cool toy photography with playsets, then.
But you're making me think of like the 80s, like you would have like a little crank on it or something.
I want a little crank. No crank in action.
I mean, I haven't. Once again, 3D printing. I mean, there's all kinds of gears and things like that available to print out on Thingiverse, and I could probably look some stuff up for you. But you might have to rebuild that door because it's narrow, right? It's about cut to the size of the actual opening.
Yeah, they're pretty spot on. It was traced off of the size of it, and a lot of the problem that I have is the depth, because if it just hangs in here, it looks like it's draped. The reason I have a rod right here is because it has to be rounded out so it looks like there's weight to it. And that's an issue that I have a lot as well. This last one is the most important thing. When I first spoke to you, this is really the reason why I wanted to email you. So this piece that I was showing originally, this is a 3-piece dio. So there's 2 walls and a ground. The ground's fine, some wadded up foil, and you throw some rocks at it. This is the wall that is missing. And the reason for that is I wanted to get crazy with it. I wanted an interchangeable window here, where I took a piece of plastic in a frame. So I built a frame, and I could have a broken window. I could have a regular window, or if I wanted to, I could have some wooden thing in here. The problem that I had was not so much building the frame, because, you just cut out the rhino and cut the plastic out and you're good to go. The problem I had was a straight cut through all of these. So I have a lot of rough edges and crooked cuts. And I don't know how with a giant knife to make a straight on cut where I could make the same interchangeable window, so I could pop 2 or 3 things in or out of here.
So what I would do with that is I would try to clean up the cuts in the corners as much as possible. You have a little debris in some of them, it looks like.
Yes.
And then use extra large popsicle sticks to build a frame and just glue the frame in there, so you have a nice smooth square popsicle stick frame, and then you can build whatever you're going to build to slide in and out of it.
Oh,
look at random drop of knowledge.
Yeah, or you could do it if you had a hot wire foam table like this one. You can thin
with
the
your
foam.
fancy laser cutter.
Yeah, you could thin the foam to really thin and make foam sticks that could go in there as well. But a hardwood popsicle sticks, the jumbo size, the extra fat ones, should be big enough to cover most of that 1-inch foam, and it'll be pretty square.
That man, it's been a year. I haven't painted this or anything. Last thing, and then we'll leave you alone. This door, it's fine. I don't really have any issues with the door. I can leave it as it is. One, what would you use as a doorknob? And 2, could I make an articulated door that opens and closes?
Probably not easily an articulated door, because the parts for it are very fine. Like, once again, you can do something with magnets where it could be on there or be off of there. You can go to Hobby Lobby and buy a dollhouse 1/12 scale door for about $10 to $12. That works just fine, which is what is on that right there, that red door.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you could do that if you were going to do. It's funny because I brought this as an example of a pretty simple little starter diorama you could do. Just the floor and the wall. And
I need something like that.
We could talk about it. So this is a simple door, just like you have, except I put a kick plate on here and put some silver on there, and printed out a little. Look at this though. What did you ask me? What can I use for a door handle? I didn't even put one on this damn thing. But for a door handle, you can get. You could use a little bended paper clip if you want to. Some people use a staple. You could use a staple on a little piece of cardboard, like cut out a piece of cardboard from a cereal box to make a plate, and then get the staple and just glue it on there, and it'll look like a pole handle. If you want to do
little push pins that has like the rounded ends on them,
you could do that. But I'm talking about like a pole door, so it would be an actual staple. You can also. I used to use the end of, I don't think I have one handy, but the end of like a Bic pen. I think it might be the inside part here. And I would press that down into a piece of foam, like the white foam core board that you have. Peel the paper off it, press it down into the foam. It would make a little
off, Ted.
Yes, peel the paper off. It would make a little round circle, and you could put that on there and then cut a little slit, and it'll look like a deadbolt lock, like a single deadbolt lock. But printing out some stickers always helps. You just go online and go look for, some signs. You could find all kinds of stuff. Makes it look cool. So, yeah, as far as articulation on your own door, I haven't ever built one. Once again, I could 3D print it. It's cheat
so
code.
what he's trying to tell you, Ted, is you need to buy a 3D printer.
It's a whole other bag of worms to open up and learn, though.
To go with some crazy wire scheme. And I
don't know about the wire, Ted. I'm not sure on that one.
Let's not do that one again. Because I like that wall. Like, I put a lot of work into that brick. Because brick is all I know how to do. So, and I would like to have my third wall to that. It really brought the whole piece together, but I got screwed up on that window.
On highly articulated in your comments said sharper blades seems obvious, and he's right. When you're cutting through foam, like, you got to change the blade out whenever you're going to do a like what you're doing, and you're trying to get it as square as possible. You got to just take lots of little cuts, and the blade should be as new as possible. So I actually buy. You could sharpen them. I know I've had some old timers tell me, "Why don't you just sharpen the blade?" I'm like, I don't know how to do that, man. I used to try to sharpen my chisels and stuff. It would drive me crazy, but I'm sure maybe I'll work on that skill eventually. But you could buy like a 50 pack of blades for these things for like next to nothing, and so you always have a nice sharp blade because foam does dull it pretty quick.
All right. Well, you know what? See, I got some satisfactory answers out of this.
A little bit. I was a little janky in the beginning, but the last one was good.
I started off easy, and then we worked our way up to the real problems of this goddamn articulated window I'm trying to do. I just want to swap out the windows. I literally haven't opened my Marvel Legends Kingpin because I need the plastic for the window. I want to open my Kingpin, but I'm like, I can't make the window. So I'm going to go buy some popsicles tomorrow. We're just going to
popsicle
jumbo.
Party.
No, the jumbo popsicle sticks will be better.
Okay. All right. I can go to Hot. It's fine.
You can get the small ones if you really want.
Briscoe says Ted's like me. He wants everything fully functioning.
Well, no, Random was absolutely right. I when I started doing this, I wanted a damn play set.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want a door that opens. I feel like if Frank was still in the chat, he'd be on board with that too. Like, yo, yeah,
lots of people would be,
diorama
for sure.
Doing toy photography, that would be cool. I don't know. I'm not a repair guy. I have no clue.
And he's totally right about that. Lego does come in handy if you're not 3D printing. You could use Lego hinges and something like that. And if you wanted to try at the door, I wouldn't make the door out of foam. I would make the door out of wood. Maybe balsa wood would work just fine. Actually, you could use Lego hinges. You could use the same hinge that the other guy described for your dumpster. You could use a tube with a dowel rod in it and make your own hinges. All those are possibilities.
That's interesting because I consider myself to be a problem solver, and man, just for the life of me, because again, I'm not a carpenter. I'm not a handyman. I don't know.
The whole diorama hobby is problem solving.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Every time you try something new, you're like, nope, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Oh, that works pretty good. Yeah.
No, this is good info. This is what I wanted.
Punk with Toys says he has a $150 3D printer. That's great for printing walls, doors, and stuff like that.
Yep. It's pretty amazing what you can do with them for sure.
And then Axion Fig says that Hobby Lobby has a lot of the dollhouse type stuff. Yeah,
it'll add up pretty quick if you're doing a lot of windows, because if you're spending like $6 or $7 for a window and then you do something with like 10 windows, that's obviously.
Punk with Toys also says Lincoln Logs is another good one.
I haven't played with Lincoln Logs in a long time.
Well, it's original diorama.
Years. All right. I think I got two more things in the chat, and one's more not about this particular conversation, but I want to touch on something a little later. Axion Figs was saying if you got small beams for, was it styrene? Yeah. Train builders, you can use that for a track glued to the sides for the opening.
Yeah, he's talking about the garage door, and that's a good idea too. That would be, you'd be able to use that as rails and slide the the door up and down. But once again, yeah, you'd have to sit them in a little bit because you cut the door flush. But that would also be.
Well, couldn't you use? I mean, that's could you put like? Could you? So because you got to fold it anyways. Could you put a dowel rod and bend it so that it sits, like the rod would sit under the door, so it looks flat in the front,
and then it comes out over the dowel rod, and
then you have something in the back that you could still kind of position.
I think for Ted, if he wants the door towards the front of it, you would almost have to put the beams outside of the wall and have it like protruding. You know what I mean? Like, you could play with that. Styrene's a great material I didn't mention, but it's not something you would build an entire action figure diorama out of, but it's really cool for making little things.
This first of all, this has been mind-blowing. A bunch of great minds coming together to solve a diorama problem, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, let's fucking go.
It's fun.
Been trying to solve this problem for a while.
Briscoe's he's gonna head to the store, so he's gonna be heading. I think we're gonna be ending up pretty soon. So
yeah, we're gonna wrap up soon. So Briscoe's heading to the store and not coming back, or is he gonna come back?
Well, he's gonna come back, but we're not gonna be here when he comes back.
Oh,
or he might be here. He's just not sure.
Okay.
And then I just want to say this last one because, like I said, it's something that was brought up by Mr. Wonderful that he messaged us about, and I just want to touch on really quickly. I actually thought about doing like a pop-up stream on just this wrestling related news. But if you haven't heard, the WCW ramp actually changed its Kickstarter. It is now moved at 5K backers. You get Rey Mysterio and Scott Steiner at 5K.
What's the purchase price on that?
A lot.
400.
Woo.
But it's like the full like front stage, the ramp, the lights.
It looks good.
Like it's great. Good. But I think a lot of people's gripe was like the initial figures were like, we've already seen these.
Yeah,
they only added two new figures technically.
Yeah, I'm not big on wrestling anymore. I mean, I watched a little bit when I was a kid, but that seems to be very common with Kickstarters. A lot of these companies, they just don't put those like special. People are spending $400. They want something rare, they can't get somewhere else. They want some special stuff. And a lot of these,
Rey Mysterio and Hulk Hogan aren't it, but
so now for 5K you can get that same Rey Mysterio, and then you get Steiner. At 7,000 you get DDP. They moved Hogan to 11,000. So basically they said, we know you don't care about Hogan, so we're just gonna make him all the way at the end, and if you get him, great. If not, whatever. But and still, for the last time I looked, they only added maybe 30 more people who committed to it. So it's not even still at the halfway point to 5,000. And they've got less than 2 weeks before it closes.
Well, I think we're going to have a very in-depth conversation about that. Probably after the time passes.
I'm considering probably doing like a pop-up stream here, like maybe like a couple days before, just to see where it's at. Because I'm very I want to do it. Like I said, just like Mr. Wonderful saying in chat, like I have one in my cart, but
$400 is a lot.
That's a lot. I mean,
that's a lot.
Then again, I mean, I've bought dumber things for $400, but
that's true.
You know, if you're going to buy that for $400, that should be like a kick in the pants to get a little bit more going with the photography, I think, because that's what that would shine for sure.
I mean, absolutely, I would love to do that, and I would gladly, do more than what I'm doing. But I mean, as a wrestling fan, you've got to give me a little something more, like.
Well, I'm not trying to push you to buy it. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna push myself to buy it.
Okay,
that's not the problem. I'm just saying for like the point of the comment. If you're going to switch your tiers around, because that's exactly what they did. They changed them, and you're still not making it worth people to buy. All you're saying is, for 5,000, I'm going to give you the figure that you actually wanted in the first place to go with this other figure that you really don't give a shit about. But like, you've got to add something else. Like, I know they probably got something like an announcer's table. Put an announcer's table in there. Put that at 7,000 or 9,000 or whatever fucking number you can come up with.
Sure.
See, I think we're all just asking Random to build us a WCW.
I mean, I was kind of getting there, but I figured I'd work my way up to that.
Random, can you build us an announcer's table?
Probably, yeah.
I bet he could. Well, we're almost at 2.5 hours, way over what we say. Are we good in chat?
Yeah, no? we never end when we say.
I know we never do.
Look here, sir. The only wrestling boxed figure that I currently have right now is our tribal chief, and that's just because I haven't been down here that often, and I will never open this Sting figure, ever, never, ever,
never, ever,
ever, ever,
forever, ever,
ever. All right, that's all I got.
All right, Random. We're gonna wrap up here. Any last words, and what do you want to promote, man?
Well, we kind of already did the promotion stuff.
Yeah, so where you been?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, that's okay. That makes sense. Not really, man. I mean, guys, it's been fun. I haven't really only watched you guys maybe a couple of times on here. Chooch actually was like, "Why don't you go watch Hella Dope?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know, why not?" So. It's been fun. You guys have been great. Good questions. I felt like everything flowed really well.
And there's two of us.
And there's two of you.
not one.
That's true.
Of us. Oh yeah. There are two of us. Nobody ever knows that. They all just think it's me.
Yeah, we were talking about that when you were away on your business before in the beginning. But yes.
Siesta.
I was wondering why Ted seemed really smart sometimes, and then he just seemed like Ted on other times. And now I figured it out. So,
yep, that is why.
Sorry, Ted. I'm sorry.
You can't corner me, man. Because I don't know. My other guy does all that. I don't know.
Yep, I'm the other guy. But all right, Random, like I said, if you haven't followed him on Instagram or YouTube or on the Ticks and Talks, make sure you guys hit those follows, support, the guys that support us. We always look out for those that are, in the community. Me personally, you can catch me here every single Sunday night because that's what we do. You know what? I'm getting this weird itch. Like I was watching a buddy's stream on Twitch, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll fire it back up one last time. I said that like a month ago, and I still haven't.
You've done Twitch?
I am affiliated with Twitch, and I grinded so long to get it, and then I got it, and I'm like, whatever. I don't care anymore.
That happens a lot with YouTube too for a lot of people.
But like the grind for that it was a lot easier than the grind for YouTube. Because like for YouTube, like you really gotta like be putting out like content.
The
With
hours,
Twitch,
man.
I
Getting
just
those
say that-
4,000 hours is a beast.
Well, yeah, with Twitch, I was already a part of a community, like a gaming community. So they were like, "Oh, just let us know when you go live." We'll just, I got it in like 6 months.
Nice. What were you streaming?
Whatever I felt like putting on.
Okay.
I did like the last one I did. I think I was building a Lego set, just because I was bored and wanted to do something. Because like with Twitch, you have to like stream so many times within like a 6-month span, or they take away your affiliate.
Okay. So you weren't even doing gaming.
I was. That's how it all started. I was doing like football. I got football. I got hockey. I was doing what is the one? Detroit Become Human, that Android game. I was doing Horizon Zero Dawn. It's kind of just really whatever I'm in the mood to actually play. There's no real set thing that I do. So, but yeah, I might get back into that in May. I got some vacation at the end of the month. So.
I keep toying with the idea of doing gaming streams, but then I'm going to do more gaming, and I have a lot of other stuff to do, and gaming will take up a lot of time. The only game I've been playing lately is Mobile Legends, which I don't know if you're familiar. It's like League of Legends, but yeah.
Yep. Yeah, see, my problem is I have this business I'm trying to run, and every time I'm like, yeah, I want to play this game. Oh man, here comes a bill that got to get paid, and
yes, same.
These are some new pre-orders are coming up. I got to send a marketing email. So, yeah. Anyway, catch us at helladopetoys.com. You can catch us at all the Helladopes at all the socials. Yeah.
What's your individual social?
My individual social.
What's your Instagram?
Which one? It is BLK Night NITE Gaming. That's the one I use probably the most.
Okay.
And then it has my link tree and it has all the other things that I do. But usually I'm all over the hella dope stuff, so you'll find me somewhere.
So you're pretty random yourself.
Very random. Yep. As I went from trying to be a full content creator to now I'm back into the business world and trying to balance all three of them.
Yeah, I find like if you try to do more than it's kind of what you said with the live stream. It's so funny. That's exactly how I am with this side business stuff too. 2 things, I'm good. 3, it's getting shaky. 4, nothing's getting done.
And on top of that, I have a family, so it's like I got to be a dad, a future husband, a business owner, a content creator, working for the man. It's just a lot.
Ted's the man.
Ted is the man.
Ted hasn't said anything in like 3 minutes. It's kind of weird.
Ted gets into those moments where like I actually like what we're talking about. I actually know what we're talking about now. So that's when I take over the stream, and he's all like, "I got the information I need to fix my diorama, so we're good."
Look, sometimes I talk too much on the stream, and I just gotta let Aaron, roll.
Yes, I'm also a brother.
Yeah,
that's good. Pull it back for a minute and let the other guys speak. That's
sometimes I gotta shut up. Are you good, Aaron?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. So my name is Ted DarkClaw.
Anyway, so what I was saying was
and we're gonna wrap it up here. But first, Random, I met you on a Rocco live stream in like October, November. It was the first live stream I'd ever been on. We had a hat contest. It was super weird for me, but you really made it enjoyable, and I've been a fan of yours ever since.
Wow. Okay.
Especially when I learned that, you did dioramas. So having you on here, big deal for me. Really appreciate you joining us. So thank you very much.
It's been fun. Thanks for asking me.
And then
we'll get you on again when you put out that new thing that you're working on.
Got the Kickstarter, dude.
Yeah. one thing at a time. But yes, that sounds good.
But yeah, follow us on helladopetoys and whatnots. Not whatnot, just whatnots. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the closing outro here. And yeah, also when this stream ends, like go in there and like comment on it. Like we read that. It makes us feel good when we wake up on a Monday morning and like, hey man, that was a really good show. And we're like, Thanks.
Yeah, we did great.
And those comments will help it push out a little bit on the algorithm for sure, because people can still accrue views and watch time and all that stuff for you guys.
Yeah. I'm just more worried about my feelings, guys.
he gets in his feelings. He calls me Monday when no one comments, and he's the only one that commented just to make himself feel better.
I'm the only one who commented on last week's show. It's ridiculous.
Ted's like, Aaron, take your 20 social media accounts and go drop some comments on there. Real quickly.
Hey, I only have 5. Thank you. Two of them got deleted because someone hacked into my Twitter account.
Yeah, Twitter. I don't like Twitter, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't either. It's a hard platform, man.
Well, I think we need a random part 2 here, but
I do feel a random part 2. Yes.
Thank you guys. We love you all, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.